We're taking over! Greetings, grapple fans, and welcome to the Lost Art of Wrestling.
Kayfabe.
Fuck off. You were doing so well.
It's back with a vengeance.
It's not
We're bringing
back.
the kayfabe back. We're putting it back in wrestling.
Oh.
Have you not heard that breaking kayfabe is the new kayfabe?
Damn straight. God damn it, it's not a shoot, it's a work.
It's a work shoot, you smart mark. Dusty finish. And scene.
Oh no.
So yes, I'm of course your host, Coxy, joined once again by the baddest man, and the most annoying man in professional wrestling. Other than Dick Fate. Signed, sealed, delivered. A dazzler amongst dazzlers. Your boy and mine. It's Billy the Boy of Uncle.
How you doing?
Hey.
Audio bronze, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't expect any less, because you can't get any less.
Damn straight, do the bare minimum, get paid leave. Life
You know
lessons, end show.
You know how in some circles they say that one is such a brilliant technician he could have a good pod with a broom? You, sir, are the broom! You are a broom, sir.
It's really tempting to windmill you. Just put it out there.
You'd be windmilling the other man in this conversation as well. Because he is a man who is half a man. Fuck's sake.
Nearly got it. Nearly. These webcams aren't helping.
Yeah, blame Bunkle.
Why me?
You're the third person in the room. We
'Cause
can't blame ourselves.
You're Mr. Skype.
I am Mr. Skype. I'll give you that.
It's Paul, the fat guy from Thunders.
Yes, it's me, the fat guy. Currently drinking a bottle of sangria from the bottle because I'm too lazy to get a glass. Living up to the name, the fat guy. Too fat to move.
Classy as a motherfucker.
Classic as a motherfucker. Well, live near Central Drive in Blackpool, so I'm just in training.
I'm Billy the Boy. What are you drinking?
I'm on Magnus cider from a can.
Any flavour?
Just regular.
Apple.
Apple, yes. Original apple. Irish original apple.
And sulfites.
Yes.
I'm just looking back from my notes here because I've got the Bible out. And I
his
found
Bible.
for some reason I wrote down at some point David Arquette's story arc. And I have no idea why.
He got to wrestling, he bled. He fucked off from wrestling.
Above that is Eurovision pod. Bunkle THG.
Oh, yes.
I didn't even watch it.
Yes, I remember this idea. And this dates back last year. And it was where, we were going to sort of live pod through fucking Eurovision.
Thank fuck that didn't happen.
Well, I think it was going to be sort of like a thing where we have one person who can't fucking stand it, you, and there's someone that actually kind of likes Eurovision, me. So
Eurovision's been shit since Terry Wogan stopped doing it. Because literally all he did was get wasted and say everybody's shite.
Yeah, I agree. But it has like a shitty sort of charm to it that I kind of like, and for some reason, like now recently Australia is allowed to compete, even though it's called Eurovision.
Yeah, no idea.
Go figure.
Coxy, you bring the fivers, I'll bring the white powder.
Yeah. That high budget, we can't even use a tenner.
But I noticed there were some pay-per-view reviews we haven't done yet. Well, we haven't done any of them, so.
No. The main reason being we've not seen much wrestling.
Well, these are all old ones, so.
Well, we'll get round to those.
They'll be considered retro episodes by this point now, though, probably.
And then I've got the start of my notes for Halloween Havoc 99, which I'm going to start with, fuck this company.
Yes, I remember we reviewed that one, did we not? Was it
Yes,
90?
yeah.
Yes.
99.
Yeah, that was harrowing. I remember that.
Because it's the same show where they detailed that Kluger is a fine figure of a man and an excellent wrestler as well.
Yes, I remember this now quite clearly. And so it took a while to recover from that one.
It took us a while to recover from WrestleMania 35.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah, they did pretty much sap my love of wrestling.
Yeah, I'm right in thinking that this is how out of the loop I am. WrestleMania 35 was the last one we just watched, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was. I've not seen anything resembling boots and tights since, because I've just not been able to bring myself to sit down and watch wrestling for 2 months.
Well, as of this recording on the 7th of June, I'm currently I've got Super Showdown in the background.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ, man.
I know.
I think he just wants to destroy his passion for wrestling, full stop here. I think he just he's taken his wrestling passion, he's taken it outside, and he's just blew its head off with a fucking elephant gun, never mind a shotgun.
I was going to say, it's gone the same way as Old Yeller.
I make the Old Yeller quotes around here.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, are we going to discuss Super Showdown? No. Moving swiftly on. AEW. Did watch the highlights of that.
I haven't.
We're going this way, are we? So just jumping straight into Double or Nothing.
We might as well. We might as well.
Okay.
It's the hottest topic going at this moment in time. Now, I haven't personally watched it because, I'll be brutally honest with you, I've been fucking stupidly busy. And with work and stuff going on at home and the wedding and things like that, getting stuff planned, I've just not been able to sit down and watch it. And when I did have a bit of time planned to sit and watch it, shit came up. So I've not even had a chance to even watch the highlights, really. I was meant to watch them this afternoon, but I got busy and I got distracted by golf clubs. So unfortunately, I've not watched the highlights, but I am fully aware of the major results of the show, like the main 3 matches, or 2 matches there was.
I'd go 3.
Yeah.
3 matches.
3 matches.
If you count the Young Bucks tag.
Yeah, that's what I was counting. I mean, I watched the highlights today while I was at work, because if I'm honest, I'm not paying 15 quid to watch wrestling. I just don't. I don't have to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. So I'm not going to pay for it. But do I just give an in-short review?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, in short, the undercard was underwhelming from all the highlights I saw. I saw one of the strangest things I've ever seen in wrestling, where there was a tag team match with 4 guys I don't really know, I'll be openly honest. I think one of them was Trent Beretta.
Yeah.
And then there was 2 guys who were like in fluorescent yellow that I didn't know or see. Or
one of them was Angelico, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't really like those guys. I'll be honest. They seemed either botchy or slow. I and then the match ended, and then suddenly hundreds of gimps appeared and attacked the two tag teams, and then posed with another guy, and it was like, wait, what? It was just, yeah, don't understand it. Just suddenly hundreds of male sex workers appeared. All right, okay.
Well, they couldn't
strangest thing I've ever seen.
Well, they couldn't get Joey Ryan, could they? So they had to go for the next best thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought the undercard was really underwhelming. And then the main three matches were, well, they looked pretty exceptional, I'll be honest. The Young Bucks match was a bit spotty, but I expected it to be. It's the Young Bucks, that's what they do. But I thought Omega Jericho was good, though I'm not keen on Jericho's new spinning back elbow finisher, or whatever it is. See, it looked a bit naff. And
it's because he's getting on a bit and he can't keep jumping on his back, smashing his knees into people.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he did that like 4 times just in the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the code breaker.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's because he doesn't want to do the line salt anymore, which, fair enough, he's quite old now and a lot bigger than he used to be.
Yeah.
And then the Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes match. I don't understand why Cody's a heel, but apparently he is. And yeah, it was okay. Dustin bled. It was quite cool to see blood and wrestling again. Yeah, it looked good.
It wasn't just a little bit of blood though; it was a lot of blood.
It looked like a lot of blood, yeah. But it did, like I say, it looked pretty decent in the highlights and whatnot. So, and the crowd were definitely into it.
I mean, I listened to Talkish Jericho today with regards to Dustin Rhodes, and he talked about a little bit about the match he had with Cody, and he cut himself, and he didn't realise how deep he actually cut himself, and he was okay with it, but he didn't mean to cut himself as deep, and apparently he could feel the blood coming out with with his pulse.
Oh,
Jesus.
It
gross.
was that bad, but they said it sucked for a little while, but after a few minutes he was fine. Like I say, from what I understand, I've seen the promo at the end of the match, and it was overplayed with an old promo that Dusty made on WCW to Dustin Rhodes. And do you know what? I've criticised Cody Rhodes a lot. I've got on a podcast called him Cody Christ because everyone seems to worship him. Can't fault him in this though. Can't fault the promo. It was sort of fitting in a way. I thought it was. Like I said, I've not seen the match. I'll be honest with you. I am going to go back and watch Double or Nothing at some point. I will, like I say, I'll watch it and I will give my opinion on the show itself when I've seen it. But from what I understand, what I know, and for what the developments have happened since and slightly before, I may be forced to eat my words a little bit about what I've said about it.
Y'all laughed at me. Laughed at me.
But I'm not completely backtracking yet. It's still an unproven product yet. They've had 2 pay-per-views.
Well,
very sporadic pay-per-views, might I add. 6 months in between and maybe more.
One of the gripes I have seen was a couple of people, well, a few people said, one of their annoyances was the camera work and the production.
Yeah, but they're going to iron that out.
But it wasn't. I don't think it was from what I saw. It wasn't like the bloody World of Sport style.
Oh God!
Fucking hell!
30 camera cuts in 20 seconds. Like.
Yeah.
Oh man! I remember it was on the inside the ropes at a figure group, and I remember this was like, "Wow, we've just got World of Sport over here somewhere, like in Philadelphia or something."
Yeah,
like
I remember
that.
saying that.
And it was on there, and it was like, was it any good? And I literally, everyone was like, yeah, give it a watch. It might as well, it's wrestling. And I went on there, just run now. Run while you still can. Just stop before you get, before you have to endure the booking that is Crater. Just go quick.
Crater and SoCal Val's commentary.
Yeah, cream and sugar.
Cream and sugar.
Yeah. That woman should not be allowed near a microphone ever again.
No, she shouldn't.
She was fucking dire in that. I'm still getting withdrawal symptoms now.
It's a bit strange as well, though, how like there's been no mention of them like filming again for season 2 or anything like since.
There isn't going to be a season 2.
Well.
Oh, don't.
Paul knows something.
I don't know something, but I came up with a topic a few weeks ago. I said we'll save it so we can discuss it now. Now, when I mentioned obviously before about AEW sort of like having developments here, there, and everywhere, there was information released a couple of weeks ago about AEW having a TV deal with ITV.
Yeah.
On ITV4.
Yeah.
To have a weekly show.
Yeah.
And I think I posed the question on the group chat and we can discuss this now actually. It's like, is this a good thing for WOS?
No.
Because is it going to be the case of, right, well, ITV4 is now going to be a de facto wrestling channel in this country on Freeview TV. It's where you're going to go. If you're going to watch wrestling, you know it's going to be on ITV4. So do you you sack WOS off on ITV1? Because let's be honest, it weren't getting the greatest ratings, as far as I'm aware. Because they fucking moved it back into the bleeding afternoon, if we all recall.
Yeah,
it got earlier and earlier.
Yeah. And, so you could like, right, well, World Wrestling's on, it's on ITV4, I know where it is, I'm going to go sit and watch it. Which also could be like, could they put more wrestling content on that channel? Or is it a case of, well, ITV4 going, right, well, we've got this product called AEW. We don't have to put any production into this whatsoever. We don't need to pay anybody. We just have to go, right, we'll pay you the rights to air this, which probably would be cheaper than making their own TV program. And go, right, well, fuck it. We don't need our WOS anymore. We've got this AEW product, which is infinitely better. The wrestling fans know it. They're going to come and see it regardless of what channel it's on. We'll just stick it on the backwater ITV4 channel because the people are going to come and watch it anyway. Fuck WOS. We don't need it.
It's a tough one because of the fact like they say like Cody and the Khans or whatever seems to be very, very positive about doing the pay-per-view over here and doing shows over here and stuff, which to me sort of screams some sort of deal, whether it's ITV's in the pocket or whatever, or if they've gone to Alex Shane's gone, oh well, we've got World of Sport and you guys could talent swap and all this sort of thing. Like, no. Stop it.
You are aware that's probably what is going to happen is WOS is going to be bought out by AEW in storyline, and it's going to become AEW UK.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, this is
from what I just to jump in here, from what I did read the other day though, it seems like they've lost Will Ospreay because from the look of things, he's possibly going full time with Japan.
Right.
So.
Oh dear. I will not see Will Ospreay on UK TV. Whatever shall I do?
Yeah, I'm a more happy wrestling fan that I don't have to see him.
Yeah.
But you see, I understand that idea, but I think it's. Do you not think it's likely? I can't see that it's costing ITV a lot of money for WOS, no matter how many shows it's got in a season. So, would you not? you're showing AEW. You're going to show AEW probably late at night. Sometime to when Raw's on, no doubt. Especially if you're showing it live, and then you'll probably do a repeat earlier in the week because you're on ITV4 and there's fuck all on ITV4. But if it does well, that'll move forward in the channels. So, it'll go on 3, then it'll go on ITV2, and then it'll end up being on ITV.
The problem with that is in primetime ITV, you've always got your soaps. So the highest it would ever go would be ITV4, unless you put it on, like, say, 9 o'clock at night.
Well, that's what I'm saying is it goes on at 10:30 after the 10 o'clock news.
But then you obviously...
On ITV1, or you do the live show on ITV1, because it'll be on at, midnight, and then you have your catch-up at 8 o'clock on ITV2, like 2-3 days later when Love Island's not on.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it depends what the target audience is going to be. I mean, AEW, from what it sounds like and what I understand, it's not going to be exactly you're going to take your 7-year-old child to it and expect them to enjoy everything. It's going to be something more aged between the ages of 14 and up.
Yeah, it is. I think it was TV 14.
Yeah.
But, again, so then you're putting it on. Okay, so let's say you have to have it on after the watershed. So say the repeat's on at 9 o'clock on ITV2. That's not bad. And if they wanted to continue with WOS, fuck knows why they would, because the talent's bleeding from it every single day. But you use, like you guys said, oh well, it's become AEW UK. Well, have like World of Sport versus AEW and build the World of Sport guys up a little bit so that people think, oh shit, yeah, actually they're pretty good. Like, I saw the highlights of Kip Sabian's match in AEW. It was all right. At least the highlights were all right. And you build them up that way so that people then tune into WOS, and you have sport. You can tailor WOS towards the kids like you wanted to do, and you've got AEW for the people who are actually interested in wrestling.
Yeah, you could make WOS a child-friendly like brand.
Yeah, but you tap into the knowledge of these people because they're wrestling who aren't going to take 30 different bloody camera angles on a promo. Yeah, and they're going to tell you how to shoot wrestling and make your other wrestling product better, and you're getting the best of both worlds here. That's the way I'd see it if I was a smart, if I was invested in WOS like they seem to be and wanted it to succeed. That's the way I'd look at it. Go on, Coxy.
See, I don't think AEW is going to go on ITV1 at all.
No, I don't.
I think they're going to go with the route of having it like MTV, where you had the original MTV channel, then they brought out like MTV2 for the alternative and like rock stuff. Then they had like MTV Base for like your hip hop and your rap and stuff. And you had like MTV Hits or whatever, which were all your pop stuff. And then they've all just seemed to have dwindled that back down, where it's like you've got like MTV and MTV Base and MTV like pop,
rock,
whatever it's called now.
I think they've got MTV Rock. I'm not 100% sure, but it's shit.
Yeah,
something like that. But then like if you look at those channels, like when they have like you have like channel 4, you have 4, 7.
Oh yeah, you 4, 7,
4, 7,
4 music.
But like 4, 7 shows like Undercover Boss and Ramsey's Kitchen Nightmares. E4 shows Big Bang Theory, Friends, The Goldbergs, Young Sheldon, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, all that sort of thing. Channel 4 shows fucking Home and Away, whatever it is. Simpsons and Hollyoaks, that's the one. So, it's going to be that.
Channel 5.
I don't know.
Bunkle knows about subs. Bunkle knows.
So, I think it's going to go that route. Like, they're going to have, like, wrestling's going to be ITV4. Maybe get bumped up to ITV2 when there's, like, no Celebrity Juice, there's no Love Island, there's no Britain's Got Talent, there's no X Factor, there's no The Voice or whatever is on fucking ITV2 nowadays. Because don't forget, you've got your edgier stuff, so they show American Dad, they show Family Guy, Cleveland Show, they show them on repeat on that ITV2.
Yeah.
So, but then if also about 20 years ago, they had a full Saturday night of wrestling on ITV2 at one point because they had some documentary Gary Steele. Yes, you got your hand up, Paul. I can see it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I've got a point about ITV4.
But they showed Gary Steele, I want to say, when he won the NWA title. And they had another documentary on about British wrestling. And they had something else on. And then they had the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view, which was fucking god-awful. But it was a full night. It was a full, 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours or something, just dedicated to a night of wrestling leading up to the Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view. So...
Yes. Yeah, but the thing about ITV4 is what I think that's obviously been missed here is ITV4 tends to be the sports channel that ITV use for the freeview stuff. The racing's usually on there unless it's a big meeting. The touring cars is on there already. You've already got, so it would be a stretch to have just you wrestling on ITV4 because it's a sport. And just have it on there because that is your de facto sports channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see him doing that.
Yeah, that's the way I would see it, unless obviously it gets stupidly popular and they think, fuck it, we'll risk it, we'll move it to ITV1 and see how it does. And if it does shit, it'll go back to ITV4, no harm done to its core audience, because hardcore wrestling fans in the UK are going to watch it regardless if it's on ITV1, ITV4, the fucking BEN channel. They will watch it. They'll find out, right, where AEW's on free-to-air TV. What fucking channel is it on? I will either watch it live or record it.
Oh, yeah.
They'll track it down. Doesn't matter what channel it's on, they'll watch it. Which is why it's...
question.
Go on, man.
No, it's slightly off topic, but with how you're saying that, people are going to look for AEW, they're going to find it, they're going to watch it. Do you think people would do that for WWE when they go to BT Sport?
People that would already the people that already watch it at WWE now already watch it because they know about it. So it's been around long enough now that it's hard for WWE to build their audience now. They've been around that long, if that makes sense.
Well, my idea is it's dwindling.
It is dwindling.
Go on,
Coxy, you got a point.
No, I've not given my thoughts on AEW yet. So.
Oh, yeah.
Go on.
Because I'm the one that actually watched it out of the three of us.
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
On Fight TV.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a decent event. Opening match was pretty good. Standard opener. SoCal Uncensored tag with Seema and two guys from OWE, Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, whatever it's called. They were pretty good. I want to see more from them because they were sort of flippy-dippy, but they were flip-de-doo, bro! But there was some other...
You weren't overly so, like Mr. Ospreay, who has to do 6 flips just to get up off out of bed out every day.
Pretty much, but there's martial arts involved as well. The women's Fatal 4-Way was surprisingly good. Well, I say surprisingly, it was actually decent because they gave it time as well. Gave it 11 minutes.
And they had Awesome Kong in it.
Making a surprise return, yeah.
Yeah.
The 6 women tag match, I sort of kind of dipped out here because I just sort of was a bit, yeah.
Was that the Yoshi match?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody Dustin was good. I really enjoyed it. But it's just one of them. I think it's a bit... The fact with blood used in it and that, it's like, is that the way they're going to go for? Are they going forward that way and stuff with that? But that's something we can come back to later down the line, depending on what they do with the product in the future.
Yeah.
Young Bucks Lucha Brothers was really good. I really enjoyed it. A lot of flippy doos. So you're not just flippy do bros and all that sort of thing. Skip it. But even still checking out because it was like really, in terms of like a story and that, it's all quite a good story, I thought. And Jericho Omega. So enough said. Finger Beauty.
Yep. And then you got Dean Ambrose. Well, sorry, not Dean Ambrose. John Moxley coming out at the end.
How dare you sully his name?
I apologise.
And if you don't know
God,
already,
it's gonna be another one of these. Go on.
I was gonna say, if you don't know already, he's the new New Japan IC champ champion. Or US champ.
I think he's the US champ.
Yeah.
He beat Juice. I think did he beat Juice Robinson for it?
He did, yeah. Yeah. He bit him. But no, I mean, I'm just waiting for all the people who like. You remember when Daniel Bryan first came to WWE? It's like, don't call him by his slave name. Like, come on, right? Slave name. The man gets paid millions of dollars a year, and you're saying, that's his slave name. Yes, I'm sure when he was making his $100 a month working the fucking indies, he was well happier than now being a fucking multi-millionaire, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It's going to be exactly the fucking same with Dean Ambrose. I'm sorry. He may well have been John Moxley before. He may well be again. But it's not an insult to call him fucking Dean Ambrose. At the end of the day, the man got paid millions. Millions.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. What's going to be the future for Renee Young?
Fired.
From the bits I saw before of her on commentary with Corey Graves, whatever, she was talking, and Corey's going, whoa, 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 and she pretty much just shuts up.
Yeah.
Like he's been just picking at her all night and just giving a shit. It looks like so.
I think he's been told to do that though.
Yeah, he's going to make her.
Surprise me.
Yeah, make her life a fucking misery now. They won't take her off air. They'll torture her in fucking public.
I don't think it's so much torture. I don't think she's particularly good at what she supposedly does anyway.
She's fucking awful. She's better. She was better at the backstage segments and doing like the panels.
Yeah.
In pre-show and what have you. She's not good on commentary. I'd actually rather have Coachman, and that is saying something.
Yeah, you see, she came in and replaced Coachman because they thought Coachman was that bad.
Yeah.
Since he's returned. I don't know. I think it's one of those. When her contract is next up, she won't be renewed. I don't think it's her fault. I don't think that they're doing it just to get back at her. I don't think she'll want to be there.
No, it's an awkward situation to be in, isn't it? And you know what I mean? It's like when CM Punk left, he had AJ Lee that was still there. She wasn't there for much longer.
No.
If anything, I think she's basically just going to work out a contract and just go.
Yeah.
She'll choose not to re-sign, and she'll be like, I'm just going to go and do my own thing.
Yeah, and it's not burning any bridges as well. So if they do end up coming back, because that's what Well, I'd like to say John Moxley didn't burn any bridges on his way out, but then he did that fucking podcast.
Yeah.
And you know what Vince is like, so.
Well, I mean, you look at what CM Punk did. You know what I mean? It's no different. He's come out and he's basically called the company out for the way that they behave.
Oh, there was a bit of a difference. It was sort of like CM Punk when he did the episode with Colt Cabana.
CM Punk's was a fucking burial.
Yeah,
Dean Ambrose was basically, here's what's wrong with your company. Essentially, he's got in like Gordon Ramsay, going, here's what's wrong. You've got 24 hours to sort it out. I'm shutting you down.
Yeah, exactly. CM Punk was pissed off. Off. John Moxley almost seemed disappointed.
This is the.
Go on, Coxy.
I'm going to say, on you go.
I was just going to say, I mean, do you think that part of that's down to CM Punk just went on his mate's show for it doesn't matter. Whereas John Moxley or Dean Ambrose, whatever you want to call him, has gone on Chris Jericho's show and they have acted more professionally about it. Do you know what I mean? Do you not think that Jericho's kind of like, well, we'll talk about this in a professional manner? I've not listened to it. I'm openly honest, but
right,
I'm of the impression that it wasn't like say CM Punk came out and said, right, this person by name, he's a prick. he wouldn't treat me properly, he wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do that, and then that guy's fucking sued him. Go on, you got your fingers up.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Right, yeah, I was gonna say the difference with CM Punk and Dean Ambrose was Dean Moxley, John Ambrose. The difference between them, when Punk did the interview with Colt Cabana, he fucking hated wrestling. He'd worked there for however long he was there, not that long, or whatever. He's off his comeback, doing his whole Wolverine bit. And he was working there that often and stuff, to the point where he pretty much grew to hate wrestling. Whereas John Moxley was like, I still love wrestling, and I still want to do it, but I can't do it this way. I want to do it my way. So he's gone off, gone to the Indies, and he's doing John Moxley. He's doing what he wants to do, and he's like, I love wrestling again because I've left the E.
Right.
I've got the creative freedom to do what I want. Like you probably read stuff about the interview, Bunkle.
Yeah, I've read a fair few summaries, to be honest, of the interview. I've just not listened to it in full.
So you know about like the whole thing of like they wanted him to say something.
Oh, I know what they wanted him to say. I've read that. Yeah, I know what they wanted him to say about Roman Reigns and whatnot.
Yeah, it was a fucking horrible line. It was something to do with it's something like who's going to kill somebody, who's going to die first, or someone's going to kill first, or something like that. And
the line was that I'm going to kill Seth Rollins first, and then cancer's going to kill Roman or something like that.
Yeah, or was it God's going to kill Roman or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, that is just wrong. I mean, the thing that I read, basically, he said that it was Vince McMahon who said that this is what he wanted him to say.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Like, oh, that's just like, if that's true, how out of touch is he?
Yeah, that's abhorrent. It really is.
Yeah.
Because it's considered that's supposed to be your mate, one of your mates as well.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd be like me cutting a promo on Coxy and going, right, well, I hope he dies of fucking cancer. What? What?
Your podcast has gone to shit, and I hope it dies along with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pin Bunkle 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna take any his chances of a WWE title is gonna die. Coxy, you just gonna die cancer.
Well, was it? So I can't remember this is sort of like a paraphrase, and there was something like, what was it? Basically something. I can kill Seth, but then God's gonna kill you or something.
Yeah.
Like on a PG show as well, Vince. Come on.
Yeah. You see that. I mean, that's what I was just saying to Paul. I was just saying, you know, if that's genuine and that's come from Vince to say that, what the fuck is Vince thinking?
Well, it was. I'm sure Dean himself says it is like there's the whole like the Susan G. Komen Cancer Association thing that they work with.
Yeah.
And Vince is like, yeah, say this line. Like, no.
Yeah.
Get fucked. Yeah, absolutely get fucked.
So yeah, where were we? Getting back on topic.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Moxley the Moxley interview, wasn't we?
Well, yeah, we were just saying about how John Moxley's kind of come out of the WWE and thought, right, I still love wrestling. I want to do it my way. Whereas CM Punk hated wrestling.
Hmm.
And
but there's also another
that's
thing.
why he kind of went off.
Oh, I remember before we got off the topic I was talking about AEW, and then we got on to
you were basically talking about, you said the main event, you just went Kenny Omega and Jericho, enough said, and then mentioned Moxley showing up.
No, before we broke down AEW.
Oh my god. That was the topic.
Oh, that's alright then. No, we were on about like ITV4 and shit. And then
I thought we kind of covered that.
That's alright then.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered that. I think overall, we think that if it's going to go to ITV4, it's going to stay on ITV4. And we're talking about
WOS.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what channel it's on because the fans that are going to watch it are going to watch it regardless of what channel it's on. And we're talking about WWE. If they were to move channel, would they follow it? Sort of thing. It's like, well, they wouldn't.
Shit! Yes, BT Sport.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, you're right now. Yeah, I'm up to speed.
Yeah, it was like, you think the people are going to go and switch and pay them because it's going to cost money if they don't have BT Sport. It's going to cost you money to switch. So it's only going to be the hardcore fans that are going to go. They are going to lose even more viewers over in the UK with this deal. Because a lot of people will go, right, Sky Sports, so I can get the football, I get the Premier League, I get this, I get that, I get the F1, I get the fucking American, I get the NFL, I get all sorts of other things. BT Sport, you've got 2 channels, there's barely anything there. In comparison.
I was going to ask what do you get on BT, what do you get
Sport.
on Sky that you don't get on BT Sport or vice versa? I know you get UFC on BT Sport, don't you?
Yeah, so BT Sport, you've got UFC, the Canadian League football, and you get more European football games. Oh, you get the Champions League. So you get all of the Champions League, because Sky has no right, and you get like the Bundesliga and like the German league, and you get Spanish. No, you don't get Spanish. Spanish is on Sky. Stuff like that. Sky,
how much is that a month?
You get the BT Sport.
Yeah.
Depends on your package.
Oh. Well, say you
I get
wanted
it free.
Well, you're all right then. But say you want I don't know BT Sport 1 because that's the one showing WWE. So that's what probably gonna be £15 a month or something.
Something like that, yeah. But the Sky Sports package again depends what you want. If you want the full package, when I was on Sky, it was, and bear in mind this isn't HD, it was £30 a month, like standard. But you could always get like a deal done, so you actually end up paying £15. But like I'm on Virgin now, and I've got both. Like, I mean, I pay less for the whole of Virgin than I did for Sky, so Sky's basic package. So it just depends. It's like anything. If you can get the deals done, but if you're signed into a deal and you wanted to add BT Sport to your Sky, and it's £15 a month to add it to your Sky Sports that you're already paying for because you're tied into a contract.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. You're gonna lose fans. What's just hit me like a fucking freight train is you've just said to me, obviously UFC's on BT Sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a deal with Fox, do they not?
Yeah.
Who are suddenly having a deal with Fox starting October?
That's why the moves happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's... I mean, they are... Yeah, in America, they might get more people, watching. The thing is, like, here, the number of homes that you're going to be in, like, drops by, like, well, more than 10%. It drops to 10% of what you were. Something daft like that. So you're going to struggle. You're in competition with all those people, but you're actually in front of less people. So...
But here's the thing as well, what you got to remember as well. Yes, it sounds bad on paper that the BT Sport deal comes into place. But if you notice on the WWE network, we don't get Raws for 4 weeks until after they're finished because of the deal with Sky. Now, once that's out of the way, who knows, who's to say that, say, for example, Raw is on, but you don't get it a few days after on the network?
That'd work better.
It would work much better.
That would be better, but...
It's that quandary, though, of people then with BT, unless they're watching footy or whatever, like if it was me, why would I get BT Sport if I just pay a tenner for the network or get a free month of the network or something?
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. It's whether BT would allow it. I think there'd be something in there that stops them from doing it again. You know what I mean?
It depends on the deal that they're paying for anyway, so... Depends on how much BT's willing to pay for it as well.
True.
Because WWE could just give them the middle finger and go, all right, well, we've got the network. If people really want to watch Raw, we can just up the price of the network if need be, and they'll fucking watch it on there. And we don't have to worry about censorship because it's on the internet. We do what the fuck we want.
It wouldn't surprise me that I know that's their eventual goal on the line. They want Raw on live, I believe, and they want it to be on as soon as possible after it's aired.
Right.
But I don't know how long down the line that's going to be because they're still on about adding bloody other companies to the network and stuff and charging different tiers and stuff.
Haven't they been talking about adding different companies though for the last 4 years though?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is it. They don't seem to be in a rush to do anything, do they? You know, they're making a fuck ton of money from the deals to be on network television anyway.
Yeah.
You know, even with the numbers getting shitter and shitter.
Yeah, but this is it. And then they're releasing new shows like NXT UK and things like that. I don't know what the numbers are on that. I've not watched it since we went to the fucking pay-per-view, which is strange.
I've not watched it. Yeah.
We went to the pay-per-view in January for NXT UK. I've not watched it since, which is... I mean, I think I watched the first one after with Walter.
Yeah, I think I did.
But after that, I've not watched anything since.
Actually, I tell a lie. I watched the recent one where it was the rematch. It was Dunn Walter.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I watched that one, and I've meant to watch Takeover 25, but I've not had a chance to yet.
I haven't.
No.
I don't
even have the network.
I think I still do. I think I still do. I've paid for it. I've not watched it in like 2 months.
I normally end up cancelling it, and I sort of say to Bunkle, I was like, right, we need to review a show. Which one? And is it on the network? I'm like, yes, it is. And he's like, right, I'll just wait till I get a free email again. It's like, well, no, I want it doing this month. Oh, I'm not paying for it.
It's slack.
Yeah, I think this is why I keep trickling the payment. It's there if I need it. But, speaking of NXT UK, they've just announced the next pay-per-view.
Oh, yes, in Cardiff.
In Cardiff, yes.
In Cardiff, yes.
It'll do alright.
It won't, because it's on the same day as New Japan and AEW.
Oh! That was silly.
Is that August the 31st?
Yes.
Oh, that was silly.
That's gonna get... Yeah, that's gonna get... I'll be honest with you, that's gonna get chewed up and spit out, isn't it?
Well, from what I've read, they had it booked since like March or something. The venue, they've had it booked since March or April or something, March or February or something, and then they've gone, oh yeah, we're not worried about like the New Japan show or anything, because they've always sold like 3,000 tickets, not realizing they had, they thought they only had one ticket seller. It turns out they had a second one, so then when they looked again, it's like, oh shit, they sold 7,000 tickets. Shit, panic mode sets in of like, okay, so we might have competition there, and apparently because there's some football or something that same weekend in Wales, or there's something happening like rugby, something happening anyway. So all the hotel prices and travel costs are jacked up. So like a hotel's like £100 a night in Cardiff.
Fuck me.
So.
Well, let me tell you, them dual carriageways with the grass verges are going to be full of tents, aren't they?
Yeah. Shit the bed, they're fucked. That's such a stupid idea.
So.
That is absolutely retarded.
Yeah, they needed to be smarter about that. Do
you know what they should have done? Because the New Japan and AEW in London, are they not?
Yes.
Around that area.
One's at the Albert Hall. I don't know where the other one is.
Well, you know what they should have done? Edinburgh, Glasgow.
Yeah.
That's where they should have gone. They should have gone the complete opposite end.
Yeah, and it should be fairly successful as well up there, because they're mad as well.
Yeah, especially like you say, if you get into Glasgow sort of way.
Yeah.
Got all the ICW lot, get them fucking filling an arena. They could have done the fucking Hydro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
They could have done the Hydro.
Yeah, no. You think they would have looked. they would have done their research properly, wouldn't you? You're probably paying people thousands of pounds a week to do that shit. I'll do it. Hire me.
Let's have a look. So, New Japan's on the London Copper Box Arena on the 31st, and I'm sure AEW is running at the Albert Hall.
Jesus Christ, for a t-shirt company, that ain't bad.
I like it.
How the fuck have they managed to book the Albert Hall?
As I say, I thought it would have been because with the E being there not too long ago, it would have been one of those exclusive deals where, you can only show us.
I do apologise. No, it's All Out, so that's it. It's in Chicago. But there is an AEW pay-per-view. There's an AEW show at some point in July or something. But in terms of that's on it over here, it'll be usually 1 a.m. But Trips is apparently not bothered about that because he's like, oh well, by the time people want to take over live here, so it'll be on at 7, 8 o'clock, and in America it'll be 1 or 2 in the afternoon depending where you are.
Right.
And then they realised people can they'll be able to watch us and then they can watch AEW afterward. So that's no problem. And then they looked at the tickets for New Japan and went, shit.
Yeah. But what he's also not realising is if you listen to any of the American wrestling podcasts that cover wrestling, they don't talk about NXT UK. Full fucking stop. They do not talk about it. No. They do not talk about it.
Wonder why.
The ones I listen to don't even touch it.
Interesting.
And the reason being is there's no interest in it. As far as I'm aware, there is no interest in it.
To put that to you then, if you're saying there's no interest in the Yanks watching NXT UK, what if? Well, not a case of what if. When the next iteration of NXT pops up, whether it's going to be either Spain or Japan, I think looking at, or Mexico, would you watch an NXT Japan show?
Well, I don't watch NXT UK, so.
See, I used to watch every episode religiously, didn't I? At
Yeah.
one point. It's not their fault that I'm not watching it. It's just a general loss of interest in watching wrestling at this moment in time. But I do go through phases of that, and then the next thing you know, I'll watch everything with tights and boots. But I don't know. It depends. It's more of. I think the attraction to NXT UK for me is watching guys that I've seen in person making it to the big time. The likes of people like Ashton Smith and Mastiff and Ligero and people like Viper making it up there and succeeding. Yes, Bunko. Yes, Bunko.
Sorry.
Oh,
well,
well.
No, I completely agree. To be fair, that is what originally intrigued me about it. It was I get to see guys that I've seen live, that I've seen in person, wrestling on the big stage, and well, I just fucking love Pete Dunne. He's so good.
Yeah, Pete Dunne's amazing. Well, now the title's off him, there's every chance he can go move up. God forbid it.
I don't mind if he goes to NXT and wins their title or something, and he stays around flipping between the two. I do not want to see him on the main roster. It is the kiss of death.
Oh, I'm sorry to tell you, but I can see him being the main roster by WrestleMania next year.
No, they won't do it.
I can see it happening.
No, he's the NXT Golden Boy.
Yeah. He is NXT UK.
I think they'll bring him in and have him do sporadic UK appearances, like when Raw's in the UK or SmackDown's in the UK.
Yeah.
They'll have him appear on American NXT, and they'll have him appear on takeovers, like when they did War Games and he was on whatever team. I don't think he'll ever make that main roster jump, though.
Oh, okay.
I hope you're right. He's not suited for it. He's just not. He'll go and it'll be within a couple of weeks. Oh, we've got nothing for you. Go back to NXT.
It'll be the Wade Barrett, wouldn't he? Another Wade Barrett.
Yeah, but the thing is, Wade Barrett was always 6'5". Yeah, Pete Dunne's 5'10". Oh, yeah. He's not what Vince is. I mean, look at Ricochet.
Yeah.
Jobber. Within weeks.
Put in a pointless tag team.
Yeah, well, even no, but like, well, are we talking about the Aleister Black tag team?
Yeah.
But again, okay. You say putting a pointless. That came up from me, but that was good because it was. Oh look, there's a couple of NXT guys having a shot at the tag titles because the tag division's boring, and then they just jobbed them out anyway. So it was just like, well, that was fucking pointless.
Mm.
And then this was like, oh, that was definitely fucking pointless. You know, I mean, look at the War Raiders. Got called up, got given a stupid name, got given a new name. I've not been on TV for 3 weeks. Oh, well, that was great then. That was well worth it.
Yeah, they're a fucking waste.
The Viking experience.
Just don't go to main roster. Just don't. If they ask you to go, refuse. Don't tell them no. I have no interest. Feck off.
The Viking experience. It's such good shit.
Oh dear.
Alright, we've got some listener topics, I believe.
I've got a couple more bits yet before we
have you?
dive in. So, of course, there's because discussing this will sort of segue into a topic I've got. So I watched probably one more for Paul, if anything. I watched Tournament of Survival this past weekend.
Okay.
Bit of GCW.
Oh yes.
And, never heard of it.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
Bloodsport.
Meh. I watched one match.
You watched the Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan? Maybe?
Yes.
So, on the 4th of July this year, they're having another event. Probably this one may interest Bunkle. It's GCW Presents Backyard Wrestling.
Yes. Yes.
Is the commissioner going to be there?
I really hope so. All I know is there's going to be a trampoline.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trampoline and light tubes.
Can we do a group viewing and watch it and do an actual review?
I think we may have to.
We're going to have to, aren't we?
Yes. And as a warm-up, we can do the DVDs Coxy has. Yes.
Oh, the Backyard Wrestling DVDs?
Yes.
Oh, that's right then, yeah.
I am fucking...
Yeah. Paul needs to see the epic battle.
Yes.
I've not seen any of these, for the record.
Part 1.
I am intrigued and I need to see this.
Yes, you do.
You need to buy the game on PS2.
Don't be dissing that game.
I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying you need to get it bought.
I'll look it up on eBay, see if I can find it.
You can probably get it for like 50p nowadays.
Yeah, it'd be cheap as chips.
I wouldn't be shocked. I might venture into CEX to see if I can find it in there.
Make sure you get the first one, because the second one's naff.
Yeah, the second one's full of glitches.
This is starting to sound very similar to Legends of Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Yeah, I had the second one and thoroughly enjoyed that one, to be fair.
I love Legends of Wrestling.
Yeah, that was the one with RVD in it, wasn't it? The second one, I think. Yeah.
All three of them had RVD and Sabu in.
Right, okay. All I know is it had the game engine from the ECW games. So
just for updated graphics, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but in mid-September, when they get back from Japan, they've got Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 2.
Ooh.
Which I'm hoping has another Minoru Suzuki Josh Barnett conflict.
Ooh.
I'm hoping it does anyway. It better.
Yeah, there was
some interest.
Yeah, there was trouser switchage there, wasn't there?
So, yeah, I felt some tingling in my penis. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, we're sort of getting back to like backyard wrestling. It's kind of a topic. Fuck off, Uncle. Topic I've had in mind for a while, and it's something we discussed it watching some show. It was one of the pay-per-views we watched. I can't remember, but it's things that make you uncomfortable in wrestling that you've watched.
Ooh, right.
So a match or something that's happened in a match or
Del Rio Ziggler.
Ooh.
Yeah.
refresh my memory.
It was the one where they did the concussion angle with Dolph Ziggler, and it was where it was like Ziggler was heel and Del Rio was face. It was doing the gimmick where he was doing like the Mexican flags in the corners and things like that. If you remember, little tiny Mexican flags on top of the turnbuckles and things like that. He was face, and they did the double switch that night.
Yeah.
And Ziggler was going in with a air quotation concussion, and he was world heavyweight champion, and it was for the belt, and Del Rio was constantly aiming and kicking Ziggler's head, and I just remember I know obviously you as a wrestling fan, you know what's really going on, but you couldn't help just like your arse clenched every single time Ziggler went for that super kick. Not Ziggler, Del Rio. Just basically did any offense near his head, and he was constantly kicking. And Del Rio has possibly got to be the best thigh slapper in the world. So it sounds like it legitimately connects. It is fucking sick.
To be fair, there's not even really like a match to it. It's kind of like Ziggler comes out selling it, and you know what Ziggler's like at selling. And Del Rio literally just goes straight to booting him in the head, and pretty much the whole match is just him booting him in the head.
Yeah, and Cole, I don't big Cole up very much, but he was brilliant in this match.
It was gross. It felt gross. You know what I mean? You know,
it's one that.
It was when he still had AJ Lee on the outside of him as well, and she was getting like proper upset. She did a fucking good job. And it was like, oh, this is just wrong.
Yeah, she was losing her shit, wasn't she?
Yeah, it was brutal. And it's like, it was one of them where, like, Cole is doing the, like, why does he keep kicking out? Just, and
just stay down.
Like, and like, I can't remember who the other guy was, the colour guy.
Might have been Matt Striker.
Was like, it may have been. But he was basically saying, look, it's just instinct. It's not, if you think about it, you've trained this way for so many years. You train to kick out and want to kick out and carry on, and it's just instinct that he keeps doing it. And then Del Rio just like double boot him in the head. And it's like,
I think there's one spot in there where he kicks him and then he's not quite down and he fucking kicks him again.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you sick fuck.
Yeah. It was gross.
The crowd was just like, bleh.
Yeah.
The crowd in the arena were like, bleh. It was horrible. It was fucking. To this day, I remember watching it live and my actual reaction at the time. It was like, oh man.
Yeah, I think I watched that one live as well. Yeah, that was brutal.
It was fucking horrible. Yeah, it was proper it was a proper arse clencher of a match.
Yeah.
It was not nice. It really wasn't. Other than that, I can't really think of anything that's been uncomfortable per se.
So I've got 3, but I'm just waiting to hear Bunkle's.
Go on, Bunkle.
2 words. Zach Gowan.
Zach Gallen.
Yeah, the guy with one
the
leg.
one-legged wrestler.
Is this the guy that we called One Leg Seth Rollins?
No.
No. He basically... Oh, go on.
He was back in 2005?
Something daft like that. He feuded with Lesnar in the end.
Oh, yes. I know who you mean now. He basically got murdered by Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. And it's not even so much the murder. That was... I kind of understood that they had to get him off TV somehow. But it was like... I don't know. It just didn't seem right the way that they did all of it. You know, he climbed into the ring as a fan, and then it was like somebody tackled him and ended up pulling his leg off. And it was like, this isn't right. And then it was like, oh yeah, now he's a wrestler. And yeah, people just kick his leg out from under him and stuff. And it's like, really? It was just uncomfortable. It was just wrong. And then, of course, Lesnar killed him by F5ing his leg into a post.
Yeah, you're forgetting when he had an arm wrestle with Vinnie Mac. And Vinnie Mac was like, you beat me, you get a contract. And Vinnie kicks his fake leg out.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, there's nothing like beating a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. It's like, yeah, you had to go there, didn't you, Vince? Like,
yeah. It was just wrong.
You just got visions of Vince possibly doing the one-legged Boston Crab and going for the wrong leg, haven't you?
I think someone did do that at one point.
It's fucking grim.
Yeah.
And, it was that or something like an indie show. Someone went for like a figure 4 and then realised they couldn't get the other leg.
Just, yeah. It's not for me. I'm sorry, it's not for me. It just wasn't even. To be fair, if they'd done something well, then you can pull almost anything off. But when you do it poorly, and you have Vince lording it over a disabled person, it's like, yeah, this has gone too far. This just isn't for me. This is not right. You go on, Coxy, your turn.
Well, I've got
this
3.
Roulette of death.
I've got 3.
We'll do one and come back.
Why, have you got more?
Well, Paul did take one.
I've got one more, I suppose.
Well, my first one, Rumble 99, Mick Foley, Rock, I Quit match.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Rock goes too far, clearly.
Yeah, a little bit. Proper, stiff, unprotected chair shots.
Yeah.
And just, nope.
Yeah. While Foley's got his hands tied behind his back. Handcuffed
that's not
behind his back. Yeah, it was just gross.
But then when you watch it on Beyond the Mat, though, and you see his missus and kids are in the front row watching, that I'm had to get up and leave.
Yeah, and they're getting upset. I think it was Foley who wrote about it and said we'd agreed on 5 chair shots or something, and there was something like 17.
Possibly, yeah.
It's like, ooh, it's like, I don't know. The only person who knows if he took advantage of him is The Rock. He's the only person, because we don't know if Foley said do it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Foley has admitted he doesn't know and has basically no memory of that night. So, take it how you want, really. But yeah, that's a gross one.
Yeah, that was not fun.
So yeah, Paul, your next one?
The one I was thinking of was one I actually saw in person, and it's more of a hindsight sort of thing.
I'll go on.
I think Coxy knows where I'm going with this one.
AJ Lionheart.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah. AJ Lionheart broke his neck in 2 places
Mm-hmm.
after taking the Styles Clash wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like I remember standing there, and it all all of it sort of like happening where Des the ref was there, and he's, normally he's raising the arm of the victor. Then clearly something's not right. He's over the top of Lionheart, and he's waving someone over, and you're like, oh, this ain't good. This ain't good. And then I think the next thing we realise is fucking Chris Hero comes steaming past us, like sprinting past us to the bar to get ice.
Right.
And yeah, it was horrible. And then the next thing you got the ring announcer in tears, and then someone has to get the microphone off because she can't do the announcement, and asking everyone to leave.
Right.
It's like, oh god, it's that moment where we was leaving out. So we didn't just leave out the main entrance, we had to leave through the fire escape. And you just wanted everyone out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, on the way home and on the way out and on the way home, we're like, what the fuck just happened? And it was the next day we found out he broke his neck. Now, we had an idea something bad had happened because our good friend Mateus was taking pictures on the old-fashioned digital cameras that he used to. You still get them now, but you don't see many people using them because obviously smartphones. And he was having like a burst mode on his camera, and he showed us like the image of him going down. Now we was facing like the side, we were side on from the Styles Clash.
Yeah.
So you could see his head go down, and we saw him land, like a picture of him like bending his neck.
Oof.
And it's like, it's like, that's not good. Because when we left, we was like, we're thinking it's probably is like he's knocked out cold. He's knocked out, and he's in a bad way. Like I say, next day we didn't realise he actually had a fucking broken neck, and he was literally a few millimetres from dying.
Yeah.
It was like, on the way home, it was like, it was we couldn't, it's like we couldn't enjoy the show. It was sort of like, obviously, you just really witnessed a guy die.
Yeah.
It's like, it was a good show, but it's like, can we say it was a good show? Sort of thing. And it's like, well, yeah, it's like, it was just, it's more of like a hindsight, really uncomfortable there. You were there. He was wrestling right literally inches in front of me at one point with AJ Styles. And I remember getting proper into the match, and it's like, hindsight's 20/20, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of them. But yeah, he's better than ever, so thank fuck for that. But at the time, it was scary times.
Uncle, you any more?
See, I've been thinking about it, and if you'd asked me a few hours ago, I probably would have had more. No, it's not actually, it's not cringeworthy. You know what I mean? I'm kind of okay with it. I mean, the only thing that I could think of, but I didn't see it, was when they were doing Oklahoma in doing taking the JR. I was like, it's just wrong, really. But again, it's one of those things. I say I didn't see it, and other than that, I've not really got anything. If I come up with something, I'll shout it out. Coxy, you said you had a couple more.
Yeah. Next one, JBL Eddie Guerrero. That match.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's the one where Eddie was a champion, Paul.
Okay, this is before I started watching it properly.
Eddie takes a chair shot that sticks his head literally under the ring bell table to Blade, but then gives himself about a 2 or 3 inch gash along his forehead.
Yeah.
Quite deep. So he pulls his head out from under the table and he's sat on a chair and you just see his head just go and he's pissing blood.
It's literally
disgusting.
It's shooting out of his head like a little spurting out. It's gross. Yeah. That's definite.
Oh. That's not fun.
Yeah. Your last one?
Well, it was a toss-up because I just remembered another one. Paul, there's a piece of view one I remember that Paul mentioned. He mentioned piece of view, so it's jogged my memory. But there's one last night I was watching a show called The Wrestlers, which is it's airing on Vice for next month. So have a credit by means. There's a guy who's going around documenting different areas of wrestling. So the first episode is looking at Beyond Wrestling. Or Evolve, I think it was Evolve because it was Matt Riddle and stuff. Episode this week is looking at Joshi, it's female Japanese wrestling. And one of them, it's there was 2 women who had pretty much end up in a full-on shoot brawl, but they were literally knocking 7K the shit out of each other, broken noses and everything, and it was just. It's quite disgusting watching it back because it was some sort of personal feud that ended up going from being a work into a full-on shoot. It's in terms of sniffing each other and the PCW one, there's one you were there for, Bunkle, was the PCW Eve Weekender when it was Trav T-Bone.
I do remember this show.
Trav.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I remember. I'll let you say it.
So, for Paul and the listeners at home, there was Chris Travis and T-Bone in the match at Evoke, when it was Live Ignite still. And there was a scene involved with a spot with a belt shot, which is the old, as everyone said, the old plastic piece of view belt. And he goes to take a shot off it from T-Bone. Either the belt catches him or he blades like a motherfucker. And he's done like an Eddie Guerrero, he's pissing blood. It's just everywhere. But Trav at the time, having sort of longish hair, sort of flicked his hair back and it just blood goes everywhere. And even a spot landed on my hand at one point. So I'm just sat there looking at Bunker going, I think I've got Trav's blood on my hand. What do I do? So I wait, Fludder comes rushing out going, finish it. And then Trav's determined to carry on and finish have the full match. T-Bone's pretty much having to hold him down at this point to try and get him get the win, just so he can get him to the back and get him stitched up or whatever. And I it seems to be the free, I just ran to the toilet and started washing my hand.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I would have flicked it off.
Get some bread and soak it up.
Just dipping his finger in it and writing "die" on his forehead.
Oh God. I was just thinking about cringy stuff. I was possibly thinking any promo involving Dana Brooke.
Okay.
That makes me cringe.
There's 2 I thought of as Fan Bunkle's not said. To be fair.
It's probably because my memory is fucking terrible and I drink a lot.
Oh! That Callisto promo. Let's do a lucha thing.
I don't remember this promo.
It was a they do the draft picks.
Oh yeah.
And it was one that was exclusive on the network because it had finished on the thing, and I put it on. And he went to do with a Callisto had been drafted, and he was asking, "Right, what are you gonna do?" I was just I'm gonna go off and I've got to do a lucha thing, and then ran off. And it's like
Yeah, I remember seeing it somewhere. I think
it's
it's on
on
YouTube.
Botchamania. It's on Botchamania as well.
It's like when British Bulldogs say, "I'm going to win the Rumble because I'm bizarre,"
Yeah.
and just carried on walking. That's on Botchamania somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
It was fucking awful. Really bad.
Which made me think of something else the other day, actually. I've got the other two, just to quickly go over them, that I thought Bunker would have said was, first of all, the mass transit incident.
Oh, yeah.
You see, that was cringeworthy. But I know which one you're about to mention, and that one was cringeworthy.
Are you referencing New Jack Gypsy Joe?
Yes, I am referencing New Jack Gypsy Joe, because that was hard. That was hard. Just watching this million-year-old man get battered by a guy who's twice his size.
I've not watched this.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Right, I'll get it watched tonight.
I wouldn't.
No, watch it. Watch the whole New Jack documentary. It's so worth it.
Yeah, it's up on there for free.
Yeah, I'll get it watched. I mean, I have a strong stomach anyway, so.
But there was
I might watch it myself.
something that came to mind was the idea of like, what if these cut these promos and they realise what they said afterward and be like, did I really just fucking say that? Like with the whole, like when Sid does the whole, what are your thoughts? Like, well, is there any let me start again. No, can't, it's live, pal. But if anyone has any doubt, they're going to get their answer tonight. Or is it for all the skeptics and let me do it again. No, it's live. So, or is it the other one where it's like, you are half the man I am, and I have half the brain you do.
Yeah.
Like,
oh. You see, I don't think they're cringy. I think they're just funny. It's like
no, but I mean,
it's like when Scott Steiner started doing the fucking trigonometry and all that shit.
I don't mean those been cringeworthy. I just mean like if those like they do those moments and it's like, what did they realise afterward? Like, did I really just say that? And it's like, oh, surely we can do it again. Like, no, we can't do it again. It's live. Like, you're stuck with that now forever. Like, people will think you're a fucking idiot. But
Also, they already do.
So, I've got a segment I want to debut before we jump into listener topics.
Go on.
It's something I thought up, essentially called Wow or What the Fuck.
Why or what the fuck, right?
Well, it's 4 topics I thought, like 4 topics that have legit, they've either been rumoured or it's something that could have happened or it's been rumoured to have nearly happened. Or it's like an alternate reality. And literally all your reaction is just wow or what the fuck.
Okay.
All it is.
Yeah,
okay?
Okay.
So first one. If Austin didn't break his neck, would it be wow or what the fuck?
Wow, because he'd been around longer.
Yeah.
But at the same time...
Oh, you're going too much into it.
Yeah, just wow
I
then.
don't know why I wrote this one down. What if Owen never fell?
Wow,
yeah.
What if Dr. Death got that push at Brawl for All?
What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
And your last one. What if Val Venus became champ like one suggested at pay-per-view?
Oh, what the fuck?
Wow! Yes! Imagine the penis jokes.
Oh, this is like post right to censor Val Venus.
Oh.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, then what the fuck?
I mean, if that was Attitude Era Val Venus, he would say, right, well, this belt, I can't wear it around my waist, but I could use it as a cock ring.
For the context of that, I think it was around 2004, 2005, maybe 2006 or whatever, and it was when they're sort of struggling for, like, everyone was off injured and stuff, and there was like they were short people for a fatal four-way, and they're like, what if we put Val Venus in and have him win? Like, why?
Yeah.
Because he's been with the company for ages. Like, yeah, but why? Why would he win the belt? Like, he's never been main event before. Why would he be it now? Because it's Val Venus. Like,
Yeah,
no.
but neither was
Shock value.
when neither was Jinder Mahal, but he fucking won.
True.
Hey, go into Jinder.
Exactly.
And so moving on now, or you guys want a quick break or anything before we dive in, or?
I'm straight in there.
Yeah.
It's fine. So we've got a list of topics. We've got quite a few actually as well. So first of all, Daz Trube, the Troubadour. Right,
Hi.
son.
Been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the 24/7 title?
Its concept is fucking brilliant. The belt is ugly as fuck.
In a word, comedy.
Yeah, it's what it's going to be. It's basically going to be. The idea is to have it defended like the hardcore title. Well, what people are like, well, you can't do that. It's not hardcore. What people seem to not realize is hardcore belt 9 times out of 10 wasn't defended in a hardcore situation, especially under 24/7 rules. It was more comedic and used as a prop. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when I can't remember who it was, but they got pinned while they were asleep with one finger.
Crash
things
Holly.
like that. Yeah, things like that. They had brawls in play areas and things like that.
The best one I heard about that was Big Boss Man pinned Al Snow against the wall.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did, and I saw it live.
But then it's like just on I've got Super Showdown on the now in the background, and it showed a recap of Jinder Mahal. Like it said before, like Jinder Mahal won the belt, he beat R-Truth for the belt at the airport, and R-Truth won it back on the plane by pinning a sleeping Jinder Mahal.
Yes.
Which watching was actually quite funny.
But that's the point of it, though. I mean, Jinder Mahal's a 2-time champion and has held it for a total of less than an hour. You know what I mean? It's a joke.
At this point now, like R-Truth is like something like an 8 or 9 time 24/7 champion, like something daft. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. I love it. I love it. Like I said, there was a segment I shared with Coxy. It was where Matt Hardy was waiting in the car park for R-Truth.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's like he tells the referee to procure R-Truth, and he's having a go at the cameraman for giving his position away.
What does it, Matt? What? What does procure mean? Go and get him. Bring him here. All right, okay.
But I love it. I actually, like I said, the concept is fucking brilliant. It's just a shame at how the belt looks, but it's probably one of them. It's probably one of the better things that's happening at this moment in time. And the best thing about it is most of it's happening on fucking social media. Spud's been involved in it as well, like waiting for R-Truth and things like that.
Yeah, I saw him take a picture of himself at the golf course waiting for it.
Yeah.
So it seems to be doing its job. Like I'm just like I've said, like I said to you guys in the group chat though. So like, I'm just waiting for like an inanimate object to win it, or like someone's like pet or something.
I'm waiting for obviously. What was it? R-Truth had an invite to the what was it? Bray Wyatt's Funhouse thing. I'm waiting for the fucking the witch to pin.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. But I think it's looking positive. I'm probably in the minority. I don't know, but I quite enjoy the concept of it. And I've seen all the stuff on social media regarding it and watching these certain videos, and it's fun. It is a lot of fun.
They've started doing that to try and get us more of a boost for the social media, haven't they, as well?
Yeah, and
trying to divert traffic towards that. So.
So was it somebody shared like a screenshot of like WWE's like most recent videos? I was just like they average like a couple 100,000 here and there, and then the Jinder Mahal pinning R-Truth on the golf course was at 4 million. That's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, okay, yeah, you know, from that standpoint, you can see it is doing its job.
So, but question I think is really how long is it going to be around for?
I can see it being around for a few years if it carries on at this rate. It's successful at this moment in time. It's a good thing for lower card guys to do if they can't get on the TV show. Fuck it, get them on social media, get them doing something, and get them, you know. R-Truth is perfect for someone like R-Truth who's got natural comedic timing.
I'm partially more thinking because of the Fox deal.
I think they'll carry that on.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's mostly happening on social media. Fox don't really have any. I would imagine they wouldn't have much say in the WWE online presence per se, like their Facebook and things like that in regards to that.
They won't have any say on that, but it's if they're gonna have it like depending on Raw and stuff, because Fox wants them to go for a sport feel rather than an entertainment feel. So
just keep it to social media and the network. I mean, it's one of those things. Like you say, it's at the end of the day, the idea is that we need to give the lower card guys something to do, and now they've got something to do. You know, and if you think about it this way, more people seem to be interested in than they are in the world heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's bringing people to the product to watch it, maybe they'll check out Raw to see what happens with the belt. Maybe, but you'd be skimming through Raw to find a couple of 5-minute segments if you're lucky.
Yeah. It's promising. It's too early to tell though, as well. So give it 6 months, see where we're at.
Cool. So, moving on, Tom asks, why do we think Vince is of the opinion that Brock is a draw?
Because he's the picture perfect sort of like what he envisions as a successful wrestler, as in like the sculpt. If you was going to ask him to sculpt a wrestler out of stone, it would mostly look like Brock Lesnar.
Honestly, I think it's because Brock's proven he's still the highest ever draw in UFC history. You know, and he wasn't a particularly good UFC fighter, but he's still the highest drawing ever. If I remember correctly, if not, he's only second behind Conor McGregor anyway. He doesn't have to be good on the mic because he's got Paul Heyman. Okay, he costs a lot of money, but people want to. It's kind of a proven thing that people want to watch him.
Yeah, and he's a big name in UFC. He's a big name in WWE. So you tap into both markets.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, he's a recluse. You know what I mean? You're not going to get him on social media and stuff boosting your watchers or whatever, but people want to see him. I don't know why, it just works.
Yeah, he's just got a certain star power about him, which I'm not a fan of his. I'll be brutally honest with you, but it is what it is. You can see why.
I liked early Brock Lesnar. I enjoyed his time in UFC. I thought his fights were entertaining. From what I saw of them, I watched UFC. We watched UFC 100 together with him, Uncle.
Yes, we did, yeah.
And I think I watched UFC 92 before that because it was Brock Randy Couture, wasn't it?
Yes.
So, and both of those were entertaining fights.
I think I've seen all of his UFC fights, and they were all entertaining, except for the very last one.
Yeah.
But then he got busted for roids anyway, so.
But it's as they've said themselves, it's been on the dirt sheets. WWE have said it themselves before, I'm sure, somewhere, where it's if they advertise Brock for a Raw or a SmackDown or something, ticket sales go up. So people are evidently wanting to, like you said before, then Bunker, like people are wanting to pay to watch him. So
he's a distraction as well because he's not at every show. So
but he's not at every show. You don't see him walking down the street because he doesn't walk down the fucking street. He sits at home and goes hunting, probably with his bare hands. You know what I mean?
F5 in Moose.
He goes, yeah. That's what, you know, you can't see him every day because he's not there every day. So I think it's because he is a draw.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Question answered. So next up, Alan writes in and asks, face or heel and why?
Ooh.
See, I'd always say heel.
Heels is easier. Heel is easier.
I asked for context on this because of the fact it was just sort of a heel or face and why. And he said, well, to be, as in playing that role or even just watching a heel or a face, which do you prefer, sort of thing, or why?
It's incredibly hard to make somebody like you. It's much easier to make somebody hate you.
But it's really hard to make someone detest you as well, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the best heels in the company, someone like Jake Roberts. People like that.
Yeah.
You know, who else can we put into the mix there at the minute? Daniel Bryan's a good heel.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan's a good heel. But again, you ask most wrestlers and they'll want to work heel. Like Austin, that's why they ended up with doing the turn. You know, Jericho. At 18, because he wanted to be a heel.
Jericho.
17
even.
Yeah. Jericho's another one.
Yeah.
You know, I've always enjoyed watching, you know, good heels at work.
I think that's part of the thing. You can be the best wrestler in the world, and you can have shit character work.
Yeah.
Like, I think it all comes down to character at the end of the day. Like, if you're trying to be a knobhead and you're like, yeah, look at me do these moves, and it's like, but you're a good wrestler.
Yeah.
Give us a reason to hate you or whatever. Like.
Yeah. But that's it. A heel nowadays probably gets cheered more than a babyface. Really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of the demographic that you into. Are you telling me that Stone Cold Steve Austin was a face because he assaulted people on a regular basis?
Well,
drank beer, swore at officials.
No, Bunkle. He assaulted his boss on a regular basis.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You know,
yeah, but
Brian Pillman tried to shoot him with a gun.
Pillman's got a gun.
Well, Austin's breaking into his fucking house. You know what I mean? Total face. Fucking yes.
Just defended his family. Pillman exactly. 9mm.
Pillman's the heel in this.
Yeah, but it's like, what was it? Who was it? On that wrestle panel they had, it was Spoonie and Sean and Matthew.
Yeah.
And I think Spoonie was about this, saying like there was someone he's like they could do anything, like, and the crowd wouldn't boo them. It's like, I'm gonna get dead babies into the audience. Just go, yeah, we love you. Like, yeah. I can't remember who it was for, but it was like
it's fucking Ric Flair. Ric
Flair.
That's the sex pest.
Oh yeah, the sexual deviant, and he still gets cheered. He's the face.
You do that to me again, I'll make a woman out of you.
It's okay, because he said woo. Yay.
He's probably been iced like 10 minutes beforehand. I still remember seeing the first time he did that. He's like, what's it mean I've been iced? He's like, it means you got to get down on one knee and just chug that Smirnoff ice. Like, okay. But then there's also like
So, I was gonna say,
there's sort of that heel in the style of like when you've got the Dudley Boys in ECW, like just nuclear fucking hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to appreciate that. It's also what you got to appreciate. Anyone can go out and say, it doesn't take much bravery to go out and say nice things to a fucking rabid crowd. That it's like, right, we love you because you're amazing, you're fucking maniacs, and I love you for it. But to go out and call someone a faggot on the front row,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's saying all sorts and shit like, oh god.
I was thinking about this morning actually because I remember there was one match. It's Balls and Axel against the FBI and Danny Doring and Roadkill, and they come out and cut a promo, and Balls and Axel come out, and this is like middle of Florida, and they say it looks like a homosexual dance party. But this is more aimed at the guys in the ring. But even still, the crowd cheer.
Oh dear.
Yeah. A little bit.
Oh man. But yeah, I appreciate the bravery it takes for a heel to come out and say nasty shit about the crowd, knowing on the way out they could get fucking stabbed.
Yeah.
Well, there's that other one I thought of today, and it was it's CM Punk, like it's something like indie promotion before he made it big, and he's talking, he's doing that sort of like he hasn't got a microphone, but he's talking loud enough so everyone can hear him.
I think I've seen this.
Giving shit to some woman, and he's going, what did you say? And he sticks his hand in her face. He's like, you dumb bitch, I'm not even holding a microphone. What are you, fucking stupid? And it's like, but if you think back on it, it was like, there's people it's happened to where they've gone out for the crowd before and stuff, like when it was like, a heel was a heel because wrestling wasn't fake in them days. Yeah. And like they had to say to you, like, be careful you don't get knifed and stuff. Like, what? Like, yeah, they'll knife you in the crowd now because they fucking hate you. Right. So, which I'm surprised didn't happen to the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't get fucking lynched.
Yeah.
So then, to follow up, Alan asks, most lethal finisher you've seen?
Oh.
This was hard. This was really hard.
Ooh, now then. One of the best finishes I've ever seen in person. And it's not even a famous sort of wrestler. It's a guy called Ryan Hunter. I've mentioned it to Coxy in this move. And it was in a small like promotion FCW in Blackpool. It lasted 2 shows, and it was only on the second show. And he did what looked like he sort of did like a pump handle move up into a sit out powerbomb.
Nice.
While spinning. Yeah. It's doable. It was fucking sick. And it was like, wow, that's impressive. And it looked like it legitimately killed the guy. And it was like, yeah, that was nice. But one of the moves that it's not necessarily a finisher per se. I don't know, probably it is actually. So I've always sort of been in envy of, not envy, but I've always been in awe of like how it doesn't kill you sort of thing, or cause you any more damage than it actually would do. Is Mastiff's Cannonball.
Oh, in the corner.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a good one.
I've seen T-Bone get like cut hard way from that when he's hit his head on the turnbuckle. But yeah, that's not nice.
Trying trying to think myself now.
It's really hard.
The only one I can think of come to mind is probably like it was in Japan, like Japanese promotion back in like the late 90s. It was like someone did like a hangman's driver.
Okay.
Which basically lifting them up into like almost like a tombstone.
Mm.
But
Right.
they face out, and it's like they basically get dropped on the back of the head and neck.
No.
No,
I think it was called
I
think it was like a hangman's DDT they called it or something at the time. It got banned from a lot of promotions because of how dangerous it was.
The brainbuster on the turnbuckle's actually quite a nasty one that El Generico used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't think there is.
Everything's so safe nowadays as well when you think about it. Like, you know, I don't want to say it looks safe, because you still believe that it's a finishing move, don't you?
Oh, yeah. A move that legitimately looks like it kills you, I don't know. Maybe when Goldberg hits a fucking spear picture perfect back in the WCW days. Maybe.
Well, speaking of Goldberg, I just watched him pretty much do a fucking brainbuster to The Undertaker. Because he looks like he couldn't get him up for the jackhammer.
Thought it was a brainbuster.
It ended up looking that way.
Ooh.
Nice. I'm glad I'm really not watching that.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not watching that, because I expected it to be garbage. Yeah, they kind of died out a little bit. I would say, I don't know.
Chasing the Dragons always look cool. It's sort of like a brainbuster with a kick, isn't it?
Oh, the Red Dragon finisher.
Yeah, Chasing the Dragon.
Well, me and Bunker said before, we're going to go for like solo finishers.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking like lethal finishers, like the obvious one, the 3D, because barely anyone ever kicked out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, I was thinking like, you know, any kind of, you know, spike pile driver. You know, if you go into stuff, you know, that was all.
One of your moves, Bunkle, the package power driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. My moves are safe.
It's a game for a reason. But yeah. Safe. Pile drivers are probably one of the worst. Fucking imagine Jerry Lawler trying to pick you up for a pile driver. That'd be fucking scary.
Well, I didn't pick it up for halfway through the power drive and having a heart attack halfway through. Fucking drop you on your head.
No more Jerry Lawler paralysis.
Bunkles was thinking like worth it.
I will sacrifice for the cause.
Yeah. Take one for the team.
So, next topic, Gary writes in, best mustache in wrestling.
Tyler Bate.
Yeah, agreed. That was easy.
I was going to say Scott Dawson from Revival.
Oh.
I don't think he's quite as good.
No. He hasn't got the twirl ability as the.
But it's thick, greasy, and full of porn.
Are we saying best mustache currently in wrestling? Because I suppose the true answer is actually Rick Rude.
Yeah, I was wondering this, but I don't know. There's no sort of, it just said best mustache in wrestling, so.
The true answer is Rick Rude. The current answer is Tyler Bate.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I go with that.
Matt writes in, is NXT UK the start of the end for UK regional promotions?
If you're not affiliated with WWE, you're fucking struggling.
You see, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking quite long about this, because I agree, and I agree that you probably are struggling if you're not affiliated with WWE, but there's always going to be people who want to be wrestlers. And they're not all going to be good, but there is always going to be one or two who are. And people will pay to see a good wrestler.
Yeah.
People always get forgotten and always have to come up through the indies. Just because that seems to be the way that it goes. It might be different now. You've got the performance center over here.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just, I just can't see that it'll, providing you know what you've got and you know not to try and overextend yourself 5-star, you can be successful. You just have to know what you've got and not try and do too much.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, how did these talents start? You know what I mean? These guys that are getting into NXT UK, they started in training schools. You're going to have all it's going to mean is your quality of training at training schools has got to increase to get that level of talent into it, so you can got an in-depth roster of homegrown talent. You can't rely on imports so much anymore because all the imports are now getting tied into contracts. If it's not WWE now, it's AEW.
Yeah.
And if it's even weirder, if in the UK it's WOS, and that's if they're willing to let that talent work for different companies. And if they do, for the likes of companies like Preston City Wrestling, they might not let them go on shows that are going to be televised, for example, or on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That is the quandary nowadays, especially with NXT UK performers, they're tied into a contract where they're not allowed to appear on the televised show.
Which for example, it fucks up a lot of people who used to rely on that talent that would come over and work for example, Uha, when he was at PCW, he was near enough he was at all the big shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the big shows he was there, and then he got signed, and that were it. It never appeared again apart from one off. But that was I think it was through special dispensation, wasn't it? From
they had a deal. I think there was something to do with the rumor I heard was they were going to let him run the circus in return for them having Uha. Or there was something about the way that, I don't know what went on behind closed doors. That was the rumor I heard. It was a case of, let us run Blackpool and we'll give you some returns. I want Uha on the show. Sort of thing. But I don't know the full details myself properly or anything, so couldn't tell you.
I'll be honest with you, that's a decent bit of dealage. Because he was a draw for PCW, so.
Well, I think from what I've been told by Fludder himself, they have an exclusivity agreement with the Tower, where if anyone else wants to run a show there, they have to pay Fludder X amount of money.
Yeah.
Which is probably why WOS didn't run in the circus; he had to run in the ballroom instead. Even if they would have to do something to get in the ballroom, because they can't get the Empress.
No.
So.
There's no other big venues in Blackpool.
Nope.
So, which is why I'm all behind the big idea of a stadium being built in the UK, in Blackpool, purpose-built for events such as that and concerts. Like there's something like the NBA, maybe not as big, not so some stupid fucking open air thing like we've got at the minute, which is like, we'll close half the fucking town off so we can have Elton John. But yeah, that's a good bit of business, that. As for struggling, like I say, it's a case of you can't get names in to draw. These guys are now getting signed up left, right, and centre. But at the same time, it means more wrestlers are in the top line jobs and getting paid.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. It's these guys are going away. They're making the money, and they're going to be worth, as RVE once said, they're going to be worth more elsewhere. and all that sort of thing. But then they're also, these guys are coming back and they're opening their own schools, or they're even coming back and working certain companies that they've got permission to work or whatever, and they're putting money into a company that way because people are paying that company to go and see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing new talent that way as well. So
yeah, I thought that's what I mean. Providing you don't try and overstretch yourself, you can be successful.
Yeah,
There's always going to be talent.
Yeah, it's knowing your audience as well. It's not worth spending £7,000 on getting the talent over for one show if your audience is only like 200 people. You know what I mean? Work with what you've got. Work with local talent and build a show around that.
There's that, and as I think we were chatting, I think last week at some point, Paul, and you're on about going back to PCW on a bit after, because you said you miss live wrestling, but then it's that sort of thing of like paying to go to Preston. So if the two of us got the train, let's say 12 quid return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get there, we're going to get food somewhere. That's like another, say, we drink, say, a tenner each. So that's, and then you've got your ticket on top of that. To stand up for 3 hours is 15 quid.
Mm.
And then you've got so if you're buying drinks in there, that could be another 10, 20 quid.
It's a mortgage in that fucking place, drinks.
So for a night, you spent 50 quid getting to and from Preston, going to the show and that. We paid 15 quid and we had NXT on our doorstep.
Yeah.
Or you can pay 4 quid and see PCW in the Tower Circus and have a seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's...
Like, so, it's one of them. Like, I wouldn't go and pay 15 quid to go and stand nowadays, especially getting older. I can't stand up for as long anymore and just sort of willingly watch and enjoy wrestling. I'm going, fuck, my back hurts or fuck, my leg hurts.
Yeah. I mean, when I first used to go, I could be, I was 27, young whippersnapper that I was, and it was fine. I could stand there. I would go for I'd do the whole fucking weekend. I'd go the Friday show, come home, come all the way back to Blackpool, go back to Preston, get there for around about 11 o'clock for the 12 o'clock hangover show, stay there for that show, hang about, maybe listen to the Q&A while I'm there, because that came in free with general tickets. And then just hang back while the meet and greet was on. And then just stick around and that would be the whole day. I'd be there in the vote from about 11:30 right through till...
About 9 o'clock.
Well, it depends when the show finishes. Sometimes it went on till 10:30.
Well, if it was a Saturday, they tried to get it wrapped up for like 9:30, didn't they? Because they really get the broke open as a club. But they, I used to do the same, but them days are long gone now.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't do it now. Old age has kicked in. Bad knees, bad back. So,
thoroughly agree.
Yeah, give me a seat any day, and if it's around the corner, I'm open for that.
Yeah.
I
completely agree.
With Shakermaker, a 2-minute walk away.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Shakermaker's up the road.
So moving on next, we've got Christ writes in.
Hey, hello, Christ.
He said, first question, funniest match of all time.
The one of probably the best ones of recent memory was Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan.
Seriously, I don't get it.
You need the goggles, Bunkle.
You need goggles.
My eye. Goggles.
Fair enough.
That's what you need. You need the goggles.
Yeah. He does. He needs the goggles. But it was fucking amazing what they did in that match. How they got it so that it's a table.
Don't spoil it.
It's a table. It's
a
table that. I've not told him how it's done, but you need to see it. I'm not going to spoil it, but you need to see it.
I have seen it.
Oh,
He
the
watched
table
it,
spot.
he watched it with us.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
right.
seen it. I just don't get it.
Oh, God. Another good one, funny enough, it did involve another Invisible Man. It was the one that we saw in person at the circus.
Oh,
Joey
Joey Janela, yeah.
Joey Janela versus the Invisible Man. Where he did one of the standout moments for me in that match is when Joey Janela threw the Invisible Man off the top of the circus and had an actual child cry because he thought the Invisible Man had got seriously injured. But
All right, go on then, Bunker. What's your funniest moment, funniest match? If you could see Bunkle's face now.
Okay, the epic battle.
Oh, backyard wrestling.
Yes.
I thought you'd gone for like Austin Booker T.
You mean the one in? Well, that wasn't really a match, was it?
Well, it's a segment.
It's a segment, not a match. You said match.
Can I include anything involving Madman Manson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
Anything with Madman
Well,
Manson.
the one Madman Manson match that stands out for me is him and Bubblegum at one of the Christmas shows. It was the Nigel McGuinness Christmas show, but it was like the early show. And we're sat front row for it, and it's like there's a City game on, and it's like, come on, kick off in 10 minutes. And you go, right, shit, yeah, we better go. And there's a whole bit like they're going through where Madman Manson seems to be on like proper indie hate kick.
Yeah.
So he's doing everything as indified as he can. Like, and there's a bit he throws Joey out, he throws Bubblegum out, and he shouts to back, he's like, "Sorry, Joey, I took all your stuff. You've got nothing left." And then proceeds to try and like Hadouken Bubblegum.
Yeah.
But then just runs towards him screaming Dragon Gate.
Yeah, that was a good one.
This is a whole bit of Dragon Gate.
There was a bit, I think, was it his last ever match where he was sat on the back of another wrestler and he was wrestling, was it team single?
It was the afternoon show of that night, yeah.
Yeah, Dave Rain, wasn't it?
He makes Rampage break character.
Yeah.
And Rampage is known for sort of saying straight face and that, but Rampage pissed himself laughing.
Did he do a fucking, he did a fucking drive-by, didn't he?
He did a drive-by at Madman 2-pack.
I think he was sat on Dave Rain's back, wasn't he? And did it.
It was Dave Rain or T-Bone or something. I can't remember who it was, but
yeah, but he was. I think T-Bone was pissing himself for not T-Bone. Rampers was pissing himself for a good couple of minutes, solid.
yeah.
Nice.
Another match that stands out for me was what was it? It's just gone. Oh, it was ACH and what's it called? Cedric Alexander.
Oh yeah.
And it's the No Loud Noises match. It's the Hangover show, and they're both rough. They're both rough as anything. And even the crowd is going, "No loud noises."
Yeah.
And they're getting like, they go out the ring and Des Cart's like, 1, and they go, right, no, Des. He goes, 2, get back, come on, get back in the ring. And they're even trying to like chop each other quietly and stuff.
I've got one in similar vein to that. It was Red Dragon.
Yeah.
They were in a multi-man. It was a 6-man tag. And Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly obviously coming out. Bobby Fish comes out, he's fresh as a daisy. Kyle O'Reilly, on the other hand, I think he had a bit of a rough night drinking the night before.
I think if it's the same show I'm thinking of, I saw him walking and he looked like he was hanging out of his own arse.
Yeah.
So.
And he was like he was falling asleep on the turnbuckle in the corner. And it was that bad. The chant was like "Wakey, wakey, Kyle, wakey, Kyle, wakey, wakey, Kyle." And I think someone actually gave him a can of Red Bull. And he tagged in and instantly tagged straight out.
Fuck's sake.
But yeah, that was funny.
There's fucking God. There's, if anything, to watch funny matches, you need to watch Chikara. In terms of like humor and that, because I went to like the King of Trios weekend in 2016.
Yes.
Loved it.
Yeah,
So,
Birmingham won it.
2017.
One of them. I know you loved it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. And following on, Christ asks Stephen. He sent a query in. Should the Invisible Man get signed to NXT?
Yes, because it's got to be better than Dana Brooke.
Loads of Dana Brooke hatred from you tonight.
Well, she's fucking shit.
Why should the coach?
So when you can make Alicia Fox look like a wrestling god, or goddess. Because the only thing that Alicia Fox can do with any competency is a fucking fisherman's suplex. You know that's it. I'll be honest with you. The one thing she can do. The one thing that she can do is like she has got the greatest fisherman's suplex in the whole business.
Wait, you just said Alicia Fox is the greatest fisherman suplex in the business?
She has it.
I don't believe you.
It's one of, if it's not the best, it's one of the best. But it's the only thing that she can competently do. If she could just get away with doing fisherman suplexes all day, every day, she'd probably be women's champion and never be beaten.
To be fair, I'm trying to think if I've seen her do a fisherman suplex. I've seen her do it, but she went and botched. So
yeah, it's usually quickly followed by a botch or precedes a botch. You know what I mean? Or what the botch comes before it. But she did do one on the Evolution pay-per-view. So if you want to look at that, I'll look it up on there.
I have seen that pay-per-view. I'll have to try and remind myself.
But
that was the match where they had zero chance of winning.
Yeah, and she fucked up. She botched the end of the match. But before then,
yes, she did.
When she dived in much too late, and the referee had to stop counting. But when she did the suplex, she goes right onto the end of her toes.
Right.
It goes over.
Okay.
It looks fucking beautiful. But yeah, like I say, it's the only thing I've noticed that she can do. But it's one thing more than what Dana Brooke can do. So
I have to say, Dana Brooke must be like Vince McMahon's wet dream.
Oh yeah.
You know, she's blonde. She's a bodybuilder, and she's.
You know what?
Like, why are you still around?
Yeah, you know why, don't you? Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. She said, right, you want give it all the body augmentation. Do it now. Make her heavyweight champion, but she hasn't got a penis. Give her one.
Well, she got to introduce.
What if I just walk back to?
Vince McMahon's obsession with Dana Brooke. There has to be some reason she still has a job. Just saying.
It wouldn't surprise me. She must have a great personality.
Yeah.
So there's going back to like the funniest match. I just realised there's two I've just thought of. One of them was, they're both Chuck Taylor, but one of them was in Chikara, and it's him against an opponent I can't remember. And Chuck Taylor's playing the heel, but there's a whole bit he keeps like either he's getting like overpowered or out wrestled or something. And at one point he literally stops the match, looks at the ref and goes, "Ref, he pulled my hair." No, he didn't. Ref, he pulled my tights. No, he didn't. Ref, tell him to stop beating me. And the second one, it's a match. He's somewhere in Japan, and he's got to take on like this brick shit house, like a Masato Tanaka style, like looking bodied guy. And he goes and chops the guy. No reaction. This makes the guy mad. He just goes, "Oh God, I am so sorry." So.
Okay, I just thought the most lethal finisher.
Go on.
Oh.
Mike Awesome Powerbomb.
Oh, now then.
There we go.
Off the top.
Off the top.
From anywhere.
Yeah.
From anywhere. It's just like, fuck you. Good luck.
Oh. Yeah. It basically, it's the quote from Rocky IV, and as soon as he lets go, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah, basically.
That was probably Mike Awesome's training. He just watched that on repeat going, if he died, he dies. He just sort of there, powerbombing a fucking doll. And works his way through to like a little indie talent, just fucking like Spike Dudley just launches him constantly. Goes to Japan, just like, fuck it, little Japanese guy, off you go.
Dude, just chucking Japanese people like lawn darts.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh. Well, it's not really a funny match, though, is it, really? I just thought of the Baywatch spot, but...
Oh, yeah. That moment, though, that moment.
That moment, yeah.
That and the fact... The point where Masato Tanaka goes shoulder tackle him, he just bounces off him, and Mike Awesome audibly shouts, "Get off me, motherfucker!"
Yeah.
So next up, Graham writes in, or should I say Nigel writes in, how would we fix Raw and SmackDown?
By getting it off air.
Honestly, fuck off the brand split.
Yeah.
Fuck it off. You don't need it. I'd cut an hour off Raw because I don't need it.
Agreed.
And
unify everything.
Yeah, unify everything. So, and then I'd fire Charlotte Flair because I don't need to see you in wrestling matches anymore. I don't need you in my title picture. Fuck off. Go get better and then come back later when people are interested again. And though people will probably hate it, I put the belt on Reigns. Because that's the only way I can see it drawing again. If I'm honest. He's in movies now. Fuck it.
With the grand scheme, when you think about it as well, people complain about Reigns being the main event and stuff, what have you. In grand scheme of things, he's not had the belt often.
No.
Was a quote John Cena said the other day in like an interview, where he's like, he said I think something like, paraphrasing, but he's like, something like the WWE's hit a point where they're not going to base it on anymore on just one guy, because they can't.
Right.
So that's probably why they've sort of kept it off Reigns, I think, in a way, because they don't want him. Yes, he's like the face to come in with, but he's not going to be the carrier like Cena was. Like Cena was like the fucking brand ambassador, wasn't he? Essentially.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to go down that route again.
I just think I don't like his promos, but you can solve that by giving him a manager if you really want to. And he's good enough to have a decent match with almost anyone, and he's not wrestled a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, or either that or I've missed it. But I think, him and Balor would be interesting. Him and AJ Styles would be interesting. It'd be something that I hadn't seen. Yeah. Him and you know, I just think I don't like Seth Rollins. I don't really get face Seth Rollins. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem to work.
At the same time, you get heel Seth Rollins, and the next thing you know, it's John.
Again, Seth Rollins, just don't talk. I'd bring managers back. I'd have wins and losses mean something. I'd have actual stables of guys.
So I would also add to the fact...
Featured tag teams.
To do a full-on Jericho here, you know where wins and losses do matter though, Uncle? AEW.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to give it a chance. I've got it. I'm as soon as I know it, the weekly product's starting, it's getting set to record, and I will start to watch wrestling again. I'll do it.
Would you keep the 24/7 title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something for the low. At the end of the day, everybody needs to be working towards something, and you could storyboard it so that you know who doesn't like who. You could set up feuds between for belts when it matters, or working towards belts.
Yeah. Well, tell you what I would do is, like I say, you'd obviously get rid of the brand split, you unify everything. So what I would do as well. I would not have any belt defended on TV.
Yeah, completely agree.
I would not have any belt defended on TV. But I would introduce a new belt that would be, and it's literally going to be a TV title belt. And there's going to be for me, there would be a restriction to that where you couldn't be a world champion.
Yeah.
It would basically be a boys' belt.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you've had the world championship at any point in time, you're not eligible for this belt. It's designed that way, so that way you can get a newer talent. Say, for example, I don't know, someone who was shit hot coming out of NXT. There you go, Aleister Black.
Yeah.
For example. You could stick a belt on them, a singles belt, see how they handle themselves with a singles belt, but not have the pressure of going, right, well, they've got to deliver at a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
You know, they could have these matches, and it gives, if you know for a fact this TV belt has to be defended every single week.
Yeah.
Either on Raw or on SmackDown, it's got to be defended at least once every 7 days. It'll give you the reason to tune in as well.
Yeah.
As well as the 24/7, as well as the 24/7 stuff going on as well. Plus, then you can concentrate on the fact that the shows are building to your shows where you want people to throw money at you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the problem is they treat the pay-per-views like just extended versions of Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, there's only one exception to that. Is Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank, you can still cash in on the show, on the weekly shows. But other than that, any other title defense is like, oh, I must have a rematch. Right, well, you can wait 4 weeks to the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, and then we can build, make a decent match out of it, so you get 2 decent matches.
Yeah.
Rather than a shitty rehash of the match you've just paid to watch.
Exactly. And also, you can also do the wins and losses while also building towards these matches as well. So
cause it's like if you wanted to, it makes perfect sense to me, because I mean, you think about it this way: say you have say you have your singles match, stomping ground or whatever for the title, champion retains, right? Well, or say champion loses, champion wants a rematch, right? It's in 4 weeks, but sometime in that point in those 4 weeks, the former champion loses, you can turn it into a triple threat. And you've added another dynamic to this feud that can then carry on going after that.
Yep.
So you can keep working it like that and keep rolling. And the TV title thing makes so much sense when you talk about it, because you have fewer belts anyway, because you unified everything. You can give your IC belt to the best current work, so to speak, if you want, like they used to. Yeah. So you guarantee you're always going to get a decent match out of this guy, and it's kind of like, well, now we'll know if the challenger is going to be world title level or not, so to speak. And then, the TV title is like working people into the company and making them seem important on the main shows. Yeah, it's a really good idea.
That's just the way I thought of that for years. It's something that's like it just makes a ton of sense. In theory, you could actually just like keep the taper and just say, right, well, the US belt's going to be the one that gets defended, but it's the principle behind it is still the same. It doesn't matter what the belt's called, as long as you have something there to reward up and coming talent. That isn't and you could use it as a test bed as well. So it's like, okay, it's all well and good you being an NXT champion or something like that when you're performing in front of 300 people at Full Sail. When you're doing week in, week out, carrying a belt, you've got to come across as a champion, speak like a champion, behave like a champion, and wrestle like a champion.
Yeah.
And the easiest way of doing that is bedding them in a championship where there's no pressure on going, right, you've got to perform at a pay-per-view. Show us what you can do, and then maybe further down the line we'll move you up.
Yeah, no, completely agree.
And then if you fall on the wayward side, then there we go, Jobber City, here we come.
Yeah. Jobber City, you can go and start fighting for the 24/7 title and rebuild yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the way I would do it. Like you say, shave an hour off Raw and every other change what you said. But also, I do think we need a bus flip as well. Any talent that's stagnated, not done anything with them meaningful for the past year, get them the fuck out of the company.
Yeah, you need to. Because the roster guys might have great ideas, but they can go try those ideas out elsewhere, and then they can come back.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, though, you're not going to get that now because WWE. Yeah, you can say they're not going to do that now, though, because AEW are going to be shit scared of people going to AEW now, thanks to fucking people like Dean Ambrose. So, they're going to be tight. They're going to grasp them. I mean, there's a report I read today somewhere, and I don't know how verified this is or how true it is, but it's something I read. But apparently WWE are now chasing NXT talent to sign up to 5-year contracts.
Jesus.
And that is to tie him in to stop him going
to surprise.
Yeah. So if they extend the contract from NXT, it'll be a 5-year minimum.
Right. Fair enough.
So it's one of them.
Now, what would I do? See, the problem now with them having such the depth of talent they've got, you can't really scrap that third hour.
This is why you need a bus flip.
Yeah, that's why I was saying you get rid of some guys.
If we're going sort of current products, like with the depth of roster we have, I'd keep the third hour. Unless you're going to fuck everyone off and have a bus flip and sort of then, drop it to a second hour. But then I'd probably cut pay-per-views down from 12 or 14, whatever they have now, to like 8.
I'd almost not want to do 8. I'd want to do 6.
Possibly 6, but then I'd have specials as well. So I'd bring back like Saturday Night's Main Event or Clash of Champions, or whatever they're going for. Something like that. So you got specials in between. Otherwise, if there's not going to be a special, more time to build up, I'd bring in the TV title, like Paul said. But I'd probably have the world title defended maybe once on TV.
Once a month or once a year?
Probably like once a month, or just on like the special one-offs. So if you do like 6, you drop it to 6 pay-per-views, I'd have like it might get defended on Saturday Night's Main Event, but then the IC it might not. So the IC title would headline, or the US title would headline, or whatever.
Yeah.
Bring back make tag team wrestling important again.
I'll say if you're sticking with your third hour of Raw, maybe you turn the third hour into the tag team like showcase almost.
I wouldn't even go that far. You're talking about having TV specials. Maybe just have a tag team special, a show dedicated to tag team wrestling. maybe once every so often, like, here's a tournament that was set up. There's his 8 teams that are here wrestling for a chance to be number 1 contenders at the next pay-per-view.
Like the Dusty Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. But I wouldn't dedicate an hour because you need variety with wrestling. You couldn't have 2 hours of singles and have a tag.
Yeah. I know what you mean, but that's what I mean. What I'm saying is you can use the extra hour throughout the show to try and get some more tag team wrestling out there.
Mm. Or you go with a case of, like, if you go with 3 hours, each hour has a main event.
Right, yeah. Like, yeah, I suppose low card, mid card, actual main event.
Something like that, but at least every hour there's a belt is defended.
Hmm.
But at least have a belt defense close the show.
Yeah, I just worry that if you're having a belt defense every hour, it's going to be, how do you build the story of the guys getting there?
And not only that, how would you persuade people to buy the pay-per-view? Because you think, right, well, the belt's being defended on the pay-per-view. Oh, well, there's 4 Raws between now and then, and it's going to be defended 4 times before the next pay-per-view. So why do I need to see the pay-per-view? I'll just catch it and find out. And then I'll watch 4 defense. I'll get to see 4 defenses for free anyway.
Yeah.
I think you know what you're doing. You're trying to get people not to switch off because.
Well, that's what you want. That's what you want to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Because what the problem is they've got at the minute is people are watching. Well, if people are watching Raw, they're definitely turning off for the 3rd hour because it doesn't make any difference. Which is why they tried to put Enzo on in the 3rd hour, which didn't work.
Nope. You see, the problem with mine and Bunkle's way of doing things is we're relying on decent story writing, decent booking, whereas you're going, right, we have a spectacle here, we've got an attraction, we've got this belt here, we've got this belt here, we've got this belt here, which in a way, I suppose, short term would be an easier sell. Because right, we've got this belt's being defended, something could happen, we've got this belt here, this could happen. Whereas mine and Bunkle's version would be more like it'd be more of a slow burn, and it'd be a harder sell. But I think if you got that writing team in and you got the decent booking and you got it going and it started going, that momentum may be slow to begin with, but as obviously word of mouth and people's opinions spread, that momentum would pick up and it would pick up and it would pick up. And I personally think mine and Bunkle's possibly would have a more longevity, but I think for instant success, I think Cox's version would work.
Well, any plan that you'd have to implement would take a literal overhauling of the writing and creative team, and it would also you couldn't just do it in a week's programming. It'd take a build up it'd take possibly months or whatever or even up to a year to get it to where you want it to be.
Yeah.
And you'd probably start seeing changes. It's a difficult one to say, really.
I mean, whoever ends up trying to fix it's got a fucking job on. You know, it's going to be Trips, isn't it? And if it's not fucking dead or like seriously hemorrhaging not only subscribers but viewers, he's going to have a seriously hard time getting them back.
Yeah. But problem is, you've got Vinnie Mac still has final say on everything now.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm talking about when Vince either is basically forced to give up the reins because of the XFL or drops dead because of the XFL.
Sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Because, I mean, I don't know. The XFL is going to take up a lot of his time, hopefully. Hopefully.
But the thing is, come the end of this year, though, there's going to be pressure from Fox and that to get ratings. And this is why they want Raw to be aiming more towards a sports show rather than an entertainment show like it currently is now. Like one of the past weeks of episode of Raw, they had all of 4 minutes of wrestling or 8 minutes of wrestling or something in like the first hour, and that was it.
I read that.
Mm.
It was like over 40 minutes before the first match, and then it was a Shane McMahon squash match.
Yeah.
Yeah, does not make me want to
Fireball mud flap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And our final listener topic question comes to us from Joe.
Oh, hello, Joe.
So, best indie show we've been to and why?
Ooh. See, I don't have much choice in this.
I was stuck between picking something that was actually good or something that was funny.
It was, for me, the third show of the Wrestling World Championships by PCW, Beyond Wrestling, CZW. There was another firm, XWXW.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that was fucking phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. We got the finals were Dave Mastiff versus Jern Simmons. And how Jern Simmons hasn't been signed, I don't know. And it was AR Fox versus Bubblegum. And there was
I've still not watched this weekend yet. I need to watch it.
Yeah, I've not seen this show.
I went to the whole thing live. It was fucking fantastic. Not one shit, especially on the last show, not one shit show. And I've always said that my favourite show up until that point was, I know Darren will get a kick out of this saying that it's too good to be true. That was my favourite show of all time. It was also my first one that I went to, but it genuinely was great. It was fantastic, but that show was better than that. It was fucking fantastic. Absolutely unbelievable.
Uncle?
I'm still trying to decide. The problem is, I've not been to see as much indie wrestling as you guys. Like I saw PCW right at the beginning, seen a bit of Future Shock, and that's pretty much it. And I drank heavily at almost all of them. Honestly, it was probably the first show I ever went to, which was the very first PCW show. And it's not necessarily because the show was the show wasn't spectacular. It wasn't like the best show ever because it was the first time they'd ever run one. But that was my first venture into indie wrestling. That was like, especially live. It was my first venture into British wrestling at all. And yeah, I fucking loved it. And that made me want to go back again and again. And yeah, there's nothing quite like that first show, is there? Do you know what I mean? There were, even though it wasn't perfect, even though there wasn't I didn't know who Chris Chavis was when he showed up. And he was a heel, and then the next show he was a face. And I didn't, I had no idea what to expect from Madman Manson and Dave Rain in a match, but he was fucking hilarious. And Dave Rain was amazing. And yeah, it's just, that's got to be it.
Yeah,
was that your choice for good, or was that choice for funny?
That was my choice for good because it was that feeling type of thing. It was that, holy shit, why have I not been doing this all my life? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think it was trying to watch British wrestling before that was essentially like going on a mission to the other side of the country.
Yeah.
From hearing things from other people, which was pretty much a lot of it was disappointment. So.
Yeah, well, maybe it was, but you know what I mean? Maybe it was rose tinted glasses type of thing then. But just to me, it was, holy shit, why haven't I been doing this?
Yeah.
So what was your funny pick?
My funny pick was it wasn't so much for the show. It was, well, there's a couple of moments, but it was the first time. It was the first white collar wrestling you did, Coxy, when I was stood with Paul.
Right.
Fucking gold. Yes. Yes. Never laughed so much in my life. Fucking brilliant.
That was when I was being a full blown dickhead, wasn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
And it was fucking brilliant.
I think I broke the guy, didn't I? Who was doing the Rockstar gimmick.
Yeah. Spice.
Yeah, I think I broke him.
Yes.
He was not happy, was he?
No, but that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't have asked now.
Oh yeah.
Um.
Just for the record, I do apologise if you do end up getting the Eye of Sauron down the webcam. My cat is on in front of the computer, so.
So, for myself, I'm trying to think of. There's two that come to mind. The first one's PCW, and it's for humour, but it's mainly because of Bunkle. And it was, I don't know if you'll know of her, Paul. It was the girl who is on Don't Tell the Bride.
No.
Female wrestler.
This is the one with the big nose?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was like Bubblegum against like Greg Burridge or something. And she comes running out like to throw Bubblegum this handbag. But when she does it, she runs full pelt into the ring post.
Oh, no.
And Bunker watched it. All I heard was a loud, and it was him. And I was like, what? It's like, she just ran full pelt into the ring post. And I'm pretty sure it's actually on the DVD as well. You see it. But then she throws this bag to Bubblegum. Bubblegum catches it, smacks the guy with it, and then like going down for the free. But then he's got all the bag. The guy's got all the bag. He's climbing out the ring. Bunkle stands up, grabs hold of it off him, opens it, and then goes, "There's nothing in it." Looking really pissed off, and he's coming back from the bar. And I was like, "What's up with you?" He's like, "There was nothing in the bag." I was like,
there should have been a fucking breeze blocking it.
Yeah, it's like, how do you explain to a man in his mid to late 20s about wrestling being fake?
A very drunk man, I might add. They should have at least gimmicked it. Come on.
It was just about like you opened it, so there's nothing in it.
Oh dear me.
So there was that one. There was another one with another funny moment for PCW. It was Dave Reynolds at commentary, which me and Bunker were at a show for, and there's a woman sat on the front row near us shouting, "Shut up, Dave!" And he literally stops the commentary and just goes, "I'll be one moment, folks." And just goes, "Shut your mouth, slag!" That literally screams it.
Yeah.
I need to see this. I didn't see this.
But in terms of like for a show, well, see, I can't really pick one. But I kind of had to lean towards Chikara the King of Trios weekender.
Mm.
Mainly for the final. British Strong Style versus Sendai Girls.
Okay.
Fucking incredible. I've never seen a crowd that, like an indie crowd, that hot before for a match, and it was just, it's like fucking amazing.
I need to get this watched.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the final. I think I've seen one match from that weekend. Or a couple of matches, or part of it. But
I may have shown you bits of it, I can't remember.
Maybe I'm thinking something else. I'm thinking of Mike Quackenbush and...
Johnny Kidd.
Yes.
Oh, that's from the previous show I went to in Manchester.
Oh, right, okay.
That was the year before, but then they had a rematch at this weekender as well on the second show, on show 2, so, which was also very good, phenomenal. It's worth checking out.
That's one of the best matches I remember actually thinking about with Johnny Kidd, and that was Johnny Kidd versus Noam Dar in a World of Sport rules match.
Yes, I remember.
It was fucking amazing, wasn't it?
It was the Bunkers Looking Food. It was the November Super Show with Liger.
I was going to say, I think I was...
You didn't go.
I didn't go, no, but I think I've seen that match.
Yes, you have, because I've shown it you.
Yeah.
It was like velvet, wasn't it? It was that smooth.
It's the point for me where it's Noam Dar's got Johnny Kidd's legs locked, and he's stood there. He's like, I'll show you how I get out of this, and he goes zip, 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 and just walks out of it.
Yeah.
And Noam was like, writing that one down.
Yeah.
But the Quackenbush Johnny Kidd matches are our World of Sport rules, but they're actually done with the round system as well.
Oh, okay.
Which gives them that extra bit of like thingy,
credibility,
added rules and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're both like, even like Mike's promo before it is phenomenal in terms of like a controlling the mic and stuff, and emotion in a promo is fucking brilliant. So well worth checking out.
We're gonna have to do so.
So there we go. That's all the questions.
We got through them all.
Woo!
So anything left to add, gents?
No, I'm just very tired, but it's been enjoyable, as per usual.
That's what we like to hear.
Indeed.
So I suppose it's on to the plugs.
Indeed. You want to go first, Bunkle?
If you've enjoyed hearing my voice as much as I enjoy living it.
Oh dear. Oh,
That's
what you get for saying kayfabe.
Bastard.
Oh, I think that's the first time I've seen him muck it up.
To be fair, this is actually like the second time I've mucked up in 3 weeks. This is not good.
Oh dear.
If you've enjoyed hearing my voice as much as I enjoy hearing my own voice, you can find me on the Gunpowder Treason No Plot podcast, where I reprise my role as the Dragonborn Paladin Rogar, and currently a very strange character called Dick Fate, who likes to talk about Dick a lot. And also, maybe one day, you can find me in the Red Scar Cafe on Red Scar Business Estate in Preston, Lancashire, the UK, Europe for now, the world.
Keep going, not finished.
The universe.
Yes, I suppose I better do mine, hadn't I? But yes, you can find me on the...
The cat's muted you.
Fucking cat muted me. So yes, see, I can't really take the piss out of you for mucking up your plugs now, can I? But yeah, you can find me on the RAD Live podcast. You can find us on all the places where you can find good podcast app places, like, see, I'm fucking my plugs up now as well. But yeah, you can find us on Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes, all them lovely places. You can find us on Facebook. You search for us as UKRD Podcast. And we're on Twitter as well, just at UKRD Podcast.
And of course, you can find the Lost Art of Wrestling on Facebook, on Twitter at LAOW Podcast. You can find us on the Stitchers, the Spreakers, the Spotifys, the Podcoins, the Castboxes. Where else can they find us?
Podbean.
Yeah, we're on
there. Spotify, have you said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
And of course, you can find our main podcast, The Lost Art of Podcasting, on all the same places. We're on Instagram as well, at Lost Art of Podcasting. We do follow back. And you can also find our new Spotify playlist called Lost Art Listens. Just find the link on our podcast, on our Facebook podcast page. We update it every week. It's stuff we've listened to or stuff we think you should listen to. Such as... Name your song, Bunkle.
Dennis Leary's asshole?
That'll do.
I'm hastily looking for what I gave you. I gave you lots.
Luigi's song.
Oh, Luigi's Ballad by Starbomb. Yes. If you've noticed, if you go through a lot of these playlists, I tend to have a weird, eccentric taste for metal and comedy. So,
well, then you got Bunkle, who goes from Alice in Chains' Man in the Box to Montel Jordan. This is how we do it.
Yes.
Why not?
Some Saints Row. Why not?
I can't remember that one. So, I don't know if there's anything else to add.
Yeah, I think we're good. Except that my cat's an asshole.
His cat's an asshole. Bunkle's an asshole.
Cheers.
It's fine because you're an asshole. And you're damn proud of it.
He's
I
nodding.
drive really slow in the ultra fast lane. I use public toilets and I piss on the seat. I walk around in the summertime saying, "How about this heat?"
You know you really are an asshole.
Just shut up and end the podcast, Coxy.
Oh dear, you're such a dick. In fact, you're such an asshole. And speaking of assholes, this is a podcast where we ask, who better than Canyon?